Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Valanth League, Week 8 here in the Silver Gold League. I am Trigger, joined alongside my co-caster for today, Mythic Warpig. Say hello, buddy.
Hello, buddy. That
Hello,
was
buddy,
such a dad
indeed.
joke. Oh, God.
We are here to watch VGB versus Claytron's Academy, the new team on the block, joining after the Sons of Capri Sun unfortunately left after the Smurf case. But here they are now. Went 0-2, I think, last week, but they've got a big job on their hands to face off against Vigorous Beta. While on the other side of the VL, we've got Team One facing off against Team Two. So, how are you expecting first off this game to go, and obviously that other game between WSLA and Deja Vu as we get into draft?
Well, based on our form, you'd think VGB would win, but as they've decided not to play their main roles, we have no real idea. So it should be fun. We do have the all-star support, isn't that who he came through as? Who's now just cruising in the top lane. So that's going to be good. I don't know. I thought Claytrons were quite fun to watch last week. They didn't have the best of games, 1 or 2, but they were enjoyable. Couple of picks that stood out. I'll be interested to see if the Yorick comes through, because we saw Tom Cena default to that last game as soon as things went a bit south. So we'll see if he's still got that one as like a backup in his pocket.
We'll have to see. Obviously, these guys haven't got a lot to battle for really anymore. Obviously, joining halfway through, they don't get any wins, but certainly making the league entertaining. I'm quite interested to see a Darius and an got banned so early for the side of VGB, given the fact that they are blue side and you can just save it for later.
They could, and also that Tom Cena hasn't been playing a great deal of those. That is a bit odd. Have they not got bans? I'm not aware of that.
I can only assume
non-banned at the start.
Yeah, I can only assume that VGB have been professional, but arguably unsportsmanlike, and not let Claytron's Academy get the bans. But what can you do, eh? Yeah, just have to wait through the 20 seconds each time as they go through. We'll see if they go for another top lane ban here.
What I want to look here is see if we see Swain being banned, because it's something that I've seen one of the players on Claytron's been spamming. Dark Chance has been spamming that in support. That's like his most played support for a while. So I was looking forward to seeing that in the bot lane. But alas, we'll see what they want from the other side. A couple of picks to sort of highlight is Wavy's Lee seems to be something he plays a lot. Malzahar Nate, Natesha Libre. And there's Aatrox and Yorick for Tom in the top lane. So we'll have to see what they come through with. Things to have a look for.
We've seen in Gold Plat a lot of Kai'Sa priority, or at least AD carry priority for this first pick. And we'll see what Kali, moving from the mid lane, opts to go for. Oriana Have is a bit of a strange one. Solid blind pick control mage, I suppose, but
very early.
Mid lane.
It's just Kali just gonna say Sonnet. Break conventions. Yeah, you would see a lot of Kai'Sa. I mean, Kai'Sa, Xayah, still the big picks. And there's Lucian Ezreal. But Caitlyn, very, very safe. Clearly, Kali just wants to sit tight in that lane and either farm up or bully. He can just sort of be reactive. That's the best part about Caitlyn. And there's Pyke. Dark Chance seems to be sort of an engaged carry player, so I was expecting the Pyke or the Rakan. See if he can take over. He tried to in game 2 last week, I think, with the Pyke. Didn't quite get off the ground.
It's a bit strange to see the Pyke being locked in after the Caitlyn, though, given the fact that they're probably going to want the Morgana to go with that. But we'll.
If they'd had their bans, I'd have thought the Morgana would have gone, and the Lee Sin probably would have gone. But we'll have to see. It does leave you quite vulnerable. But the beauty of Pyke, I think, is that you just say put another safe AD carry and just ignore the lane and don't worry about the Morgana. Go find the top laner and surprise him.
We have seen many Pykes do that in the past. Do you expect this Pantheon to be the jungle, the support? Well, it's obviously not the support, but jungle, top lane. Where do you really see this champion excelling at the moment?
I have to be honest. I haven't played the new Pantheon. I think he just appears from brushes and kills me a lot. So jungle, I guess, based on that logic.
With that logic, he certainly could. A lot of early AD damage with that Pyke and Pantheon being locked in already. P's are truly excelling on my mic at the moment for Claytron's Academy. Thresh being locked in with Caitlyn, it's not the Morgana after all. Agree with that pick?
I mean, love the pick. I don't necessarily agree with it on Sheriff. Morgana, big priority champion for him, it would seem. But he wants to try something new on this. Caitlyn Thresh is a great lane. It's solid. If you land a hook, that person is locked down in CC, they're probably going to get bursted out. So I imagine also look to take the Ignite for that lane as well, just to secure it. Jarvan comes through, picking up their jungler. Not sure how it does into the Pantheon matchup, but it allows them to keep their solo laners safer for at least one of them to be a counter pick. Maybe more
Very
depending on where
glad
the
to see that,
Pantheon's
Oriana. They hovered it at the start. They've picked the Java and deny the combo. I like that. Claytron's Academy doing work there.
They got their bans in. It seems they got their last 2 bans in. Well, we'll have to find out what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about the Oriana takeaway for Dan, isn't it? Dan in the mid lane, AJ Tracy.
Yeah, big old AJ Tracy in the mid lane. Yeah, Natacho Libra said in Twitch chat that they don't get the first 3 bans for the rest of the games in VL, but they do get the last 2. Diana being taken away. Potential last pick for them. Just after
yeah, it's a strong bursty pick. I quite like. Well, I hate seeing Diana, but she does have a lot of power in her right now. Syndra, also very popular if you can pilot the champion. She's obviously good stat checking champion. Doesn't require too much mechanical skill, so she's very reliable. She's nice into this Caitlyn, who's going to be hard to lock down, and she's going to be in that range.
I kind of like what Claytron's Academy have done. They've picked the Pantheon, say it's a top jungle flex, so they're a bit scared to lock in their top laner. And now they've banned out the mid laners that are going to counter what he wants to play. And that champion's ended up being the Malzahar. And obviously, I don't know mid lane well enough to know how Ariana and Syndra do into the Malz, but I like when teams do that. They say what mid laner they're going to pick and they ban the champions that they don't want to play against, rather than saying, okay, we're just going to counter pick it. So I like that strategy from Claytron's Academy, but now it's how do Vigorous look to close out that comp.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the good cover bans coming there to have your blind pick. It is also one of Natesha's main picks. It's the only one I've written down against his name as something I expect to see. And it has given them that flex/counter pick on the last pick. So it's a really nice draft so far. I like they have good solid engage in the secondary engage from Pantheon. Malzahar to obviously follow up. If Ashe can find a type with that arrow, they're probably going to die. So they have a really good solid engage into a team fight. We'll have to see how they round their comp out with either a front line or even more damage, which we're seeing in top lane. With the Hovers and VGB, it looks like they're also kind of going for a team fight comp. Don't really see Java and Malphite without expecting very quick, very powerful engage. Running out with the casting for the scaling.
And then it's all about that counter pick now. Will Pantheon be top or will it be jungle? If it is jungle, what are they going to pick top lane to counter this Malphite? Maybe something like a Kennen could be good to get those 3 Klepto stacks and not let him stack armor. But we'll see what he ends up opting for. I do like the Kassadin pick. It's very strong in some other series. Shen into Malphite. Good pick.
Fine pick. I don't expect too much go. Well, we might see the AP Malphite. It is being played quite a lot more now. It's more enjoyable to watch at the very least. But you do expect these two to just sort of bash the wave, burn each other down with Sunfire Capes, and then walk away. Not really do too much. Gonna be about how they can make impacts across the map. Obviously, Shen can have double global presence with the TP. Malphite can have one really big global presence with his ultimate. So we'll have to find out if it's going to be that AP or that tank. I don't see them needing the AP damage. You have got Kassadin. He's pretty much a powerhouse at it. But I am kind of favoring Claytron's comp here, especially with the Pantheon, who can really get some early snowballs going. Just secure this Ashe in lane.
It's a very different types of team comp, isn't it, in the way that they want to execute. VGB, you're seeing strength in the bot lane early, you're seeing the scaling aspect in the mid, and a jungler who can really just support everyone in the early game. And Wavy, for me, has probably been the top performing jungler from the games I've seen in Silver Gold, so I hope he's going to be able to do that. You've got Pike, Ashe, and Pantheon. Talk about catching people out.
That's a killer comp. I had a heart attack because I didn't see Shadow Copper changes his summoners until the very last second, and I was a bit terrified he was going to run with Cleanse Exhaust. Yes, I do really like their engagement. They have a significant advantage for the mid game. I'd give them to it because obviously Kassadin really comes online about 3 or 4 items once he's got the tier completely stacked. The Rodaway just fully stacked. He can just walk into anybody and obliterate them. But until that point, they have a lot of lockdown. And Malzahar, great into Kassadin, he can just turn around and put him on the spot for any follow-up CC to come through. So I do kind of favor Claytron's comp here. It's looking quite nice. We'll have to see, however, what that Malphite's going to do. If it's going to be able to, bully this shit some AP, or if he's just going to absorb pressure with the tank. Find out.
I suppose the advantage of having the Malphite and the Jarvan in the composition against Claytron's Academy is the fact that Claytron's Academy have picked the Ashe into the Jarvan. And it's a very mobile AD carry that if you get stuck in that cataclysm, you're either burning flash or you're waiting for that that Cataclysm to expire, and I like that potential for team fight. And I find it's the biggest difference really between gold, plat, and silver gold is the way that these AD carries will play both the laning phase and their positioning in team fights as well. So Caitlyn for me is a champion that forces advantages in lane, pokes the enemy AD carry out, denying CS, and really forces down those plates when she gets the kind of lane that's able to do that. Ash, incredible late game AD carry, but low mobile, as I said. So it's using the slows and using good, strong positioning, staying out of that Malphite ultimate range at the start of the fight to make sure that she's able to carry it. And we'll see if these two AD carries are able to live up to that name. But my final question for you before we get into game is, which do you think is going to be the key lane to focus on? Or do you reckon it'll be more of a jungle focus game if not?
I think with exactly what you said, it's gonna be all about this bot lane. It's if Callie can bully out Shadow on this Ashe, or if the Ashe can sort of plant feet in lane, get some distance in a team fight, because it's not just the Jarvan. There's also the Malphite. There's the Caston, who's always going to find you. It's gonna be on Shadow Hopper to execute a fight really well. But in terms of the lanes, it's going to be that dynamic of if Shiruki can kind of unlock the Pyke to just disappear into the lane, maybe slow down this Kassadin scaling. So I think it has to come from the jungle and then the bot lane.
The jungle and then the bot. We'll see. It's been a meta for quite a while now for the jungles and supports to kind of link up in fives and really create advantages across the map, whether it is in the bot lane or river, even up in the mid lane, and some teams even in the top. So we'll see how they look to progress from that. You like the Claytron's Academy comp. You've made that clear, but you've also said that Vigorous Beta are the more informed team. So based off those 2 points, which team you're taking home today as being the winner of game one?
Well, given what we said about how important the AD carry is going to be, and Claytron's being new to the scene, it's going to have a little less synergy. I'm going to give game one to Vigorous. We'll have to see if they can sort of surprise performance. Claytron's can surprise us with how well they perform. But as a team, I would give it to Vigorous. If the individuals of Claytron can really shine, then we might see something. But it's looking like it's leaning towards Vigorous. They have a team execution comp where they want to just force a massive fight at the late game, but they have a lot of picks to make all through the mid game with Scass if they can get him rolling. So I'll give it to them on the team basis. But let's be pleasantly surprised. Let's see Claytron pull something out.
We can only hope that we have a close and exciting game here as we see Vigorous Beta come off against Claytron's Academy in week 8, 2 weeks to go before the end of the split, or at least the regular split. If Vigorous Beta win this series and World Saves Lives Academy beat Deja Vu in this game that's happening today as well, we'll try and keep you posted with that one. It'll be a three-way tie for first. So just so you guys know how close it is in this Silver Gold League at the moment. Claytron's Academy, they've got the tools, but do they have the skill to execute them to be able to take down Vigorous Beta in game one? That's going to be the question. We've got a Pyke, we've got a Thresh. Will we see any early level ones? That's what I'm excited to see so far.
Yeah, hopefully. Let's see. Let's see what the Ashe do. Ashe should be skilling volley. Should have that pick. Going back to what you said about the teams, I don't think any of them are playing each other anymore, are they? This is their last game. This week is the last week when any of the top teams are playing each other. So it's going to be on Claytron to try and play spoiler and just disrupt that. As all the teams have now kind of got I think they've got all of their head-to-heads locked in.
Yeah, that is true. All the head-to-heads will be locked in after this week. So just 10 teams playing spoiler, as you said. Looks like both teams looking for a point defense, which means no early aggression. And the last thing you want is for a lane to fall behind so early and the game just gets snowballed on it. And both these teams, I should say, have got the potential to snowball. You know, this Kassadin gets fed. Good luck. But if Pyke starts having the impact that a Pyke can have, then the exact same can be said. So we will see. Jungles, where do you expect them to start off? Where do you expect them to path towards it? And when do you expect them to have the impact that they need? Because I've seen it a lot in Silver Gold that you get these high aggro junglers that don't do anything until the level 8. So where are you expecting these junglers to prioritize?
I think you need to see Pantheon mid lane on his first clear or just after his first clear, just to give Kassadin a little kicking and slow him down. I therefore expect Jarvan to be doing similar things. But it is a Jarvan, you want to see him on the field level 3, getting into people's faces with his buffs. He's got Conqueror, so he's going for fights. He's but not that kind of burst, which you sometimes do see. So I want him to be aggressive. He needs to be around this mid lane, I think, to cover Kassadin, who's vulnerable early on. But Malzahar isn't really the killing kind at the start of the game, and he has gone teleport. So it's looking like a safe farming mid lane for both of these guys. So it's going to be on if we can see Pantheon making early movements there, and if Jarvan can be around to protect him.
That would be the big test. And yeah, as you say, no huge setup for the Malzahar, but when that level 6 hits with the chain CC of the Pantheon, huge amount of damage coming down as well. It's bound to be a dead AJ Tracy in the mid lane if you let that happen. Just take a look at the lanes. Jarvan taking red buff and Pantheon straight down bot lane. That slow will be huge if he can land the EQ, but a smart ward there, I think, from Dark Chance.
Really
Gonna
nice.
catch that one out.
So Claytron's held back, trying to hide where Pantheon started. Shen helped him at the buffs, but Claytrons were sat by their tower until they normally arrive in lane. It might have been a giveaway that Shen was missing some energy, but they kind of knew that they couldn't push forward on the case of this Jarvan. Maybe they'd been scouting it out, and a really good ward to keep them safe. They spotted out the Jarvan making moves again, and Shuriken is probably going to be able to take the blue buff relatively safely and be kind of far ahead in his jungle passing so far.
That's absolutely right. Hard ward to get from Dark Chance, manages to land it, then they actually spot Jarvan trying to steal the blue. Very aggressive from Wavy after being spotted already, and now he's 4 camps down to the 2, nearly 3 of Shuriken on that Pantheon. That's the first gank fail for Wavy Lad, but you said you wanted him to get out on the field, level 3, obviously level 2's even earlier. That's a good start from him at least, from what we wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. It's worth a try, right? It's definitely worth a try. They should have, if they weren't, well, you expect them if they weren't helping the Pantheon to go early and try and push that lane in, would have left them wide open, so really smart for them to hang back. But definitely good that Wavy Lad was exerting that kind of pressure. And it looks like the Jam was just going to finish off their pathing, probably head back and reset, and have to see where they make moves from now.
Just kind of keeping my eyes on the bot lane, despite a big minion wave being there for Vigorous Beta to pick up. Even if you exclude all those minions, Clayton's Academy has still got the CS lead in the bot lane, and that's not what I want to see when you've got the range advantage in AD carry and support. Thresh is kind of known as a counter to Pyke as well, and VGB not performing as well as they should do in this lane so far, offering up their priority, but maybe it's just because they knew Jarvan was topside and they wanted to play a little bit safe. But we'll see. As we say that, Jarvan is in the mid lane. There is no shield there. The flash away from Natecho Libre will keep him safe, but that cooldown is now on a 5-minute cooldown. Say that is approaching.
That is the early pressure you want to see from the Jarvan to kind of bail out this cast and keep him safe. I do like the gank. And I'd like to respect
like
Flash.
It's going to be. No, Flash from Thresh. I was going to say there. It took a while to get away.
No, I like the respect Flash from Natecho. I mean, I think Sheriff should probably have flashed away earlier, saved his health there, because now they're going to be bullied in the lane. Whereas Natecho, because he flashed earlier, was able to just sort of, remain there, shoves the wave in. Interesting engage. I think Sheriff went for the fight to start with and then ended up burning his own flash. So have to see if that shapes the bot lane, as it means that Ashe is very safe in that kind of flash play combo that normally results in a kill early on for a Thresh.
Yeah, opting to try and get a little cheeky, cheesy little gank from inside the lane brush, misses the hook, and then it's like, oops, there's a Pyke, I'm stuck now. And didn't end up liking where he ended up.
Routine top lane as Wavelad comes in.
By Wavelad, nice taunt to keep him trapped, but the EQ is still available. The EQ will land down to Tom Cena, does have flash available, uses the W to stop the auto attack damage, but Wavelad chasing him down. There's the flash away. That is now 2 flashes from the solo laners of Claytron's Academy. Wavelad putting a lot of that pressure down early on all 3 lanes. Shuriken won, nothing so far.
Yeah, it's good from Wavelad. He the first gank failed, he didn't manage to disturb him. He's actually going to return to the top side, see if he can get another one.
Not much mana available for Malphite, but there's the knock-up. Tom Cena misses the taunt, but it's a TP now from the Natecho Libre, and Pantheon's here as well. Natecho Libre only level 5, the flash from Pantheon and the stun. Wavelad dropping low. Tom Cena, one more attack, doesn't need a land as Malzahar takes up the kill. No assist for Shen. That is a nice TP and response from the jungler to make sure that return gank doesn't happen.
Yeah, and the gank did not land as they wanted to. The flag drag came in, just Lama walked away, then the flash follow-up. Natecho immediately counters with the teleport after just having back. That was perfect for him. He doesn't even miss this cannon minion, I don't think. That's exactly what you want as a good mid laner. He's now spike level 6. Comes in through the casting as well. He's had a relatively safe lane phase and is in fact ahead. But Natecho is going to be very happy trading his TP for that really early advantage at the first blood goal.
Pyke lands the hook onto Thresh. The hook does land from Thresh as well, but the double man stun is only going to land onto Wanda. Ignite goes down. One more auto attack should land it, and Shadow Hopper picks up the 2v2 kill in the bot lane against Sheriff Woody. From bad to worse for Vigorous Beta, the Claytron's Academy have got the early lead.
Very nice from Dark Chance. They both sort of 3 hooks at each other. Pyke's is a little bit better than Thresh's. Thresh, he has to stand still to throw his hook. Pyke can move along quite quickly, so trades the flash. They know it's down early. Sorry, it doesn't trade the flash, just trades the ignite. Didn't even need to flash for that one. And Thresh goes down, having burned the flash earlier. Really nice from the bot side, and that should go some way towards unlocking this this pipe on the rest of the map. They've managed to do it without Pantheon's help, which is really good work.
Yes, Just Llama, sorry, does jump forward, uses that ultimate. The blocking of Shen's W won't last for long. And Malphite gets the 1v1 kill up in the top side despite the previous gank which failed. And that's just what they needed. But I say that AJ Tracy, level 6 now, trying to jump onto Shuriken, invade with Wavy Lad. Thresh is there to support as well. A lot of pressure early. I like this from these two teams.
Yeah, and Just Llama's like, obviously that's the painful part of having a Shen on your team. In his own lane, his ult's going to do nothing. But despite the kill, nothing's going to happen. Kali had to base. I think he had enough for his BF sword and was running on mana, so they couldn't give that into a dragon or anything with that pressure. But they're going to reset. A BF sword apiece. I think you're happy with the remaining even on CS from Ashe here. That's going quite well. And we do still have the Shen's ult up. He can look to obviously roam across the map where Malphite's gained an advantage. It's going to be on if Tom Cena can use that ult, try and make a play somewhere else, and sort of pay for the first death of this game.
Yeah, you make a good point. The Shen ult being up, so is Malzahar's as well, and you're expecting those two being two fantastic team fight starters. Should they look to do it, but Wavy Lad gets the EQ combo onto Shuriken. He's dropping low. AJ Tracy uses the ultimate to get closer forward. One more combo should get it. The shield's going to do a lot as Shen ult comes down. Will he get there in time? He will, but Shuriken falls down. Tom Cena gets a double man taunt. Will they get the kill onto Wavy Lad? One more order to attack will do it. Kali and Sheriff Woody there, although are here. Wavy Lad goes in once again. Tom Cena's down. Now Pike trying to get something done onto the Thresh on the backside. And the Taito Libre still has ult, not finding it yet. Trying to get some damage down to AJ Tracy. There it's going to be. The rest of the map seems absolutely safe, but AJ Tracy jumps away. There will be no one down for the side of Vigorous Beta, and they seem to all escape absolutely fine. A kill on Tom Cena and onto Shuriken.
Yeah, lovely from BGB. They got what they needed. I think Tom Cena's ult just came in too late. By the time he got there, Shuriken was just too low. Nothing happened for it. And the taunt comes through as the final effects kick in. That's going to give them just a bit of pressure around the map. They're not going to use it to convert into anything. Everyone is still bruising and walks away. But they get the Malzahar ult down, they get the Shen ult down, they exert more pressure onto Shuriken, who's not yet level 6, and will hit soon. It's a good reply from VGB, and it keeps them level on the goal.
Certainly does. And now Just Llama's ultimate is available as well, so we'll see if that looks to be used while the key ultimates from the Taito Libre, Shadow Hopper and Tom Cena are all down. VGB definitely in the driver's seat in terms of tempo, but we'll see if they're able to execute on that as Cataclysm is also now available.
Yeah, and Llama's ult is up. I don't expect him to get any more kills. Thompson's been able to pick up a few more tanky items. He's got the non-magic mantle now to just avoid that damage, as well as the Sunfire, the Balmy Cinder to just sort of this. So he shouldn't go down here as he overextends the fight, as I say that.
But Just Llama is absolutely destroying him at the moment. The taunt does fall. Just Llama does end up going down to about 33% health and decides better off using his ultimate to engage. So both junglers are topside, despite the wards being there for Claytron's Academy. You never know if Wavy Lad fancies making a play up in the top lane for the third time of the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much harm. I mean, it's an easy dive to execute, right? Just Llama can always find the CC on a target. So it should be something they look to do. Taito Libre's done a good job here, built up a nice CS lead of his own. He's 18 CS up. They're level on kills, down the assist, and though he had to burn his ultimate for ultimately no gain, he is managing to crack a few turret plates. So he's building up a healthy healthy gold lead, sorry. I think he's about 600 gold up.
Very nice there from him on the side of Claytron's Academy. And that's just the push, isn't it? AJ Tracy on the casting doesn't really have a lot of push available in his kit, whereas Malzahar presses 2 buttons and the wave kind of disappears. Basically the Sivir of mid lane. Got the shield as well and everything to boot.
Yeah, he'll be looking to push out once he's got a little bit more mana behind him. He can stack up some of those ult charges and just wipe out the backline wave. But for now, while he's still hammered into his tower, that has limited his roaming potential. You've only seen him really move out of lane for that one fight. What you want, but we're hitting the 11-minute mark. He's finally finished that run of Aegis. Well, finally, it's a decent time. So should expect him to move around the map a little bit more from now on.
Wavy Lad with Sheriff Woody just clearing some wards around the bot lane. Potentially just wants to get control over this dragon before they'd make a play, but that's going to make Ashe feel a little bit more scared, sitting in her lane. Does spot out Jarvan with her E. I don't actually know what that ability is called, but Malzahar's around. They could potentially look for the pick. Natasha Libre does have ultimate available. The EQ away from Wavelad will keep him safe, and maybe the trigger was pulled a little bit too late.
I think he didn't know he was there, to be perfectly honest. They sort of found each other. He threw out his abilities and walked away. But Tom Cena now has his ulti back up, so Ash can feel a little bit safer stepping forward. Of course, he can only use it if Just Llama isn't punching him in the face and throwing Qs at him.
So let's come down, but Grasp is helping out Tom Cena a lot. The taunt will make him take a tower shot, and now Tom Cena could potentially look to turn. The slow's going down from Just Cena, does have ult available, and will use it to get away, but Tom Cena's going to feel very, very happy up in the top lane after that dragon.
That's massive for the team. Now they can look to make a dragon play. He can push this wave out, sit back at his tower, and move to the bot lane without really any sort of motivation not to. Malphite can't step towards him for a while. So I'd want to see them collapse on this dragon and use their pressure. They have the Malzahar, they have the Pantheon ult, they have the Ashe ult. These are good tools to try and get someone killed. Instead, it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a reset, as the trigger was not pulled.
I suppose the only thing that they could potentially be thinking about is just Llama's teleport, which is about to be available, but I agree they shouldn't be afraid to press R. At the very least, all of these ults are relatively long ranged, so you'll be absolutely safe to just start an Ashe ult and hope. But I want to see more from this Pyke so far. We're 12 minutes into the game, and other than that 1-2v2 kill in the bot lane, he's not really managed to get enough off. And yes, he's with an immobile AD carry in the Ashe, so it's a little bit harder to look for those roams, but I like what Sheriff Woody and Wavelad are doing. They're grouping up, they're trying to make plays. I'd like to see Dark Chance and Shirooke do the same thing. And as we say that, the bot lane looking for another invade, telling Shirooke to get out of his bot side jungle because it does not belong to him anymore.
They have tried to fight for it, but they have to be careful about overextending. They do have all of these ults, and if they're just going to sit around in their jungle, they will collapse. I do want to highlight that the Pyke now has his Moga Roots as well as the Thresh, so these supports are at least itemizing to try and roam. Whether or not they do is another issue, but they are now able to do so, and you know, with a Malzahar and a Pyke, you can really make some good plays. So I do want to see this Pyke disappear from the lane, have Ashe clear it out with the W, and then just find a kill somewhere, or at least get some pressure down. That flash from Caston isn't like a huge cooked summon spell. You need to take it down, otherwise he's never going to be killed in these team fights. So they need to look to burn that down before them. Super proactive plays as we come to the mid game.
Saying that, Jarvan looking to get some pressure on the Rift Herald, starting to take it as AJ Tracer looks to go in, takes Natasha Libre to 66% of his health as Pantheon is spotted in the bot side. Malphite's going to roam down and they're basically just going to brute force this Rift Herald. They know it's the free objective. See if Claytron can look to react. Pantheon's walking up, Shen's walking down. We could potentially see a fight.
They don't want this catch. The Ashe arrows come up. It's running through mid lane. Catches him with the stun.
Malphite only lands onto one. Now there's the ultimate from Malzahar trying to take down Wavelad on the Jarvan. AJ Tracy jumps in, but will have another ult to get out, and in the end, no one falls down as they all get nice and safe, but the Rift Herald will remain safe as well.
There was no focus. That was a great Malphite ult. It was an even better Shadow Hopper predict from downtown, but there was just not enough focus to get any of the kills. Top and jungle walk away with very little health, but they still didn't lose the Rift Herald, despite the fact they probably should have been punished harder. So I really like it from Vigorous Vader making the proactive play. It's a good counter from Claytrons, but ultimately no one capitalizes on it, and just a lot of ult trade.
We're now 15 minutes into the game, and all plates have kind of disappeared now, with the exception of mid lane, and I think there's been one in the top lane. We've not really seen either team look to really pressure those turret plays. Now, I don't know if these junglers have felt that certain lanes weren't gankable, but with the exception of a couple from from Wavelad early, I've not seen many, and a little bit upset to see that. To see that Tom Cena does go for a play up on Llama, but maybe just a little bit of a trade.
I sincerely hope the junglers did look at these lanes and think they're ungankable. Every lane has hard CC. Every lane has a little bit of damage. Like, they should really have been looking for those plays early on. With the exception of the Kassadin, who you just want to defend. So, would have liked to have seen a bit more action from both of them. They didn't even really meet each other and sort of cancel out the fights. So what we're looking for is a bit more of a passive mid game here, which I again sort of feel like it does favour Claytrons, provided they are willing to pull the trigger at some point.
These ultimates are now level 11, at least for the side of Kassadin and Malzahar, and for these such ult-reliant champions, it becomes very key when they do hit that level 11 mark. But they need to look to now speed this game up. It's kind of a almost unfair stereotype for Silver Gold, that they're not very quick teams and they're not very proactive or good at closing games out. And in most games, that's not been the case. But in this one, it certainly seems to be so. I say in Champs League, you pick these early game junglers, gotta do something with them, but they look to try and catch out AJ Tracey. But in the end, it'll just be competition for a ward. It's like waves across an ocean. As one team takes advantage slowly, then the other team does next. And no objective being taken so far, but Tom Cena continuously looking for these trades against the over-leveled Malphite.
Yeah, I don't know how he's that level. But I've looked at this Malzahar. This Malzahar's ult is on a 66-second cooldown. He, like, just throw it out. just walk up to the Castin, have the Pantheon around, throw it out, see what happens. You know, you have some good. They've had good ward coverage. Everyone's been quite focused on vision. We've seen most of the jungle activity has just been killing wards. So clearly everyone's concerned with what they can see and can't see. You know, just set it up around and just go for the ult. Like, put it down, apply the pressure really, and force it back so that you can try and make the dragon play. I don't think any team really needs the Mountain Drake to take down Baron later on, but no one's going to say no to it. If you can get there a bit faster, especially this sort of turn and engage team, having that Mountain Drake does give you a lot more threat. You can get it incredibly much lower than it would normally be. So I'd love to see them pick it up if they can, but like they do need to start using their tools for pressure and tempo to generate tempo.
Yeah, maybe it was the issue around Rift Child that they didn't actually have that speed, because I think it was more of the more intellectual plays that they made. They saw Pantheon bot side, they had Prio in mid and top, let's just go for this Rift Child, but just the speed of doing it was slow. But as to say that both junglers are mid, Tayshaw Libre potentially looking for the ultimate. Can he find it on one of them as Pantheon's around? As to say that, Sheriff would he potentially looking for a trade on the Pyke in the bot lane? In the end, Pyke will just run away, and so will Kassadin. No fights still in this game. Okay, so we're getting to this almost mid-game spike now, when these players are going to have 2 items each. If a fight was to start when each player had 2 items, which composition would you give it to? Would it really depend on whether it's 5v5 or a 3v3?
It would wholly depend on whether it's 5v5, 3v3. I mean, if it's 3v3 and Tom Cena has the sense to be further back, or he's been told to be further back, then he's going to join the fight. They're going to win that fight. Slama doesn't even have his TP if he wanted to get there. If it's 5v5, it goes to VGR, no question, right? Kassadin has managed to get his Rod of Ages mostly stacked. He's opted out of the tier to instead go for the Lich Bane. That's the more damaging build. And they're going to have the Malphite for that engage, which Shen really can't offer. So if they meet each other in a Dark Alley as 5, it's going to be brutal, but it's going to go to VGR. If they can play around the map and just basically play around the Shen cooldown, then it's going to be to Claytrons. But the main thing we haven't seen this game is Pyke has not left his lane. He has not moved at all. A little bit of trading going on in the mid lane.
Getting a little bit overconfident, and there's the ultimate from the Tayshaw Libre. Agent Tracer goes away in the end. No one ends up dying, but now that is the Malzahar ult on cooldown, and we saw how much AJ Tracy actually did to the Malzahar. We noticed it in a trade earlier. Maybe it was a Malzahar ult that was stopping him going in earlier. Now it is down. If he does take a reset, he could potentially look for a kill. A lot of damage has been done to the mid lane turret of Vigorous Beta and the top lane turret of Claytron's Academy, and in fact it will be the mid lane turret of Vigorous Beta that falls down to the minions as that trade happened. I didn't even see that, and that's first blood turret in the mid lane Claytron's Academy just because they picked a Malzahar. Not much pressure from the junglers, and they're just able to pick that one up.
But and that's the pressure just thrown at it. Like, take the fight. It wasn't an all-in. He didn't need to ult there. But he does, it generates that pressure, and Tracy can't even step up to the wave early enough. It just kills the minions from under him. Sorry, kills the tower from under him. Good exertion of pressure, and I want to see now what they do. You know, Malzahar isn't a good champion in a side lane, especially compared to a gas. So he's gonna have to remain there. But it's just they've now moved their focus to unlocking this bot side as the top lane turret goes down, and we're gonna see a fight there.
Shuriken 1 was there, just Lama ults away, but yes, it's going to be natural now. It's kind of going to be instinct for Malzahar to push the wave, realizing it's not going to hit a turret, so let's just go do something else. And that should hopefully offer up more opportunities to take a fight. They tried it there by slowly roaming up top. Malphite ults away.
Now, it doesn't have to be a fight. It just has to be Malzahar saying, "All right, Pantheon with me. We're going bot side jungle. We're going to walk in there with the sweepers, although they didn't have one." And clear out the vision, and then just set it up around the dragon bet in the red side jungle, and then they can just take any fight they want. If they see, Vigorous approaching, they can back off, or they can choose to engage on an unsuspecting target with the Ash Shot, with the Pyke ult, and just come over the wall. So they can do a lot of work if they create an area of darkness. That turret going down gives them huge access to this Dragon Pit. And it looks like, knowing that, they're just going to take the thing.
Yeah, they saw Vigorous Beta on that blue buff, giving it over to Kassadin. Gives them the prio to be able to do it now, and we'll see if Vigorous Beta are quick to respond, but Caitlyn is back in base, so it's likely just to go over to Claytrons for absolutely free.
Why is Shen here?
just making it show. I mean, there's nothing to defend top lane anymore. That's going to be a free Mountain Drake for them. We'll see if Vigorous Beta are going to look to make a play off that, or if they're just going to continue to try and get advantages. And I've got to say, you know, as much as we're saying that these teams aren't fighting and maybe kind of criticising that, you've got to give credit to the draft of Vigorous Beta. They don't want to take these 3v3 fights, as we've said, and the champions that they've picked are actually very capable of getting away from them. Malphite has just ulted away so many times. Waverlad is flag and dragged himself out of a fight a couple of times too, and AJ Tracy, obviously with the Rift Walk, can do it himself. So it's actually denied some of what Shirooke1 and Natecho Libre have tried to do. And granted, there's not been too much action in the bot lane, and maybe that's where they could look to go instead. But I think that's just a homage to the draft that Vigorous Beta have picked for themselves.
I agree, and there is a lot of safety in it, and it shows that they managed to get a 600k gold lead and basically held even against what's felt like a game where they've been losing the other game. But it's hard to praise a Malphite who spent 2 of his last ultimates running away, as he finally manages to get one to go in, and they lock it down for a kill.
The champ was here, and now we can't see him as Tom Cena drops down. He is killed for the 3rd time this game. But there's the ult from Shadowhop, who wants to go in. Dark chance flashes forward to get the double man stun. Kali gets away from it, but there's the ultimate from Pyke to take down Thresh. That will be a turret traded up in the top lane, and there is no one looking to respond as Shen is still dead for 20 seconds. Shirooke1 still bot lane. Natecho Libre is still mid, and they're going to pick up a base turret, an inhibitor turret, and no one seems to be responding. Shirooke's finally channeled his recall, but that's going to be a free turret for them, and I don't even think
there's only going to be one of it. And Natecho Libre is looking to try and take the fight. Wisely decides to back off, but instead of going to his base, he's just been caught napping, and that's going to be an inhibitor for tier 2 mid lane and a kill.
And a kill. Shirooke1 finally getting that reset off, and that's insane amount of pressure now. That might well have just won the game for Vigorous Beta. Yes, they actually lost the gold league in the whole trade, but they've now got that inhibitor down. The TP comes down as Dark Chance doesn't come in. Shadowhopper is on 33% health. Another TP from Just Llama's there too. AJ Tracy flashing forward, maybe looking for a kill. The Shenult's there too, but Dark Chance immediately deleted. There's a 2-man thunder from Tom Cena as Malphite is walking down. But here comes Malphite. Bye-bye, Ash! As Sheriff Woody just sends him the auto attack. AJ Tracy jumps over the one and takes the Libre, stuck between a rock and a Thresh place, as he ends up falling down to a double kill for Sheriff Woody on the Thresh. And nice proactive play there, he's able to take the TP, and now Malphite looking for more, and Shirooke1 does land the stun. Tom Cena's there to get the taunt too if it's needed. Are they going to look to respond as taunt will land? Thresh is walking up, and Just Llama just absolutely bullying them two out of the jungle. He's so tanky against these champions that aren't doing much damage at all, and Thresh is here too now. Will the hook vandal go for the play? The taunt away will mean they're safe, but Vigorous Beta taking up leads all across the map at the moment.
And in the bot side, that's going to be Kaz is going to say thank you for all that pressure, take a free turret. Mid lane's going to go down, and what can Claytrons do but clear out the super minions in their own base somehow at this 24-minute point. I gotta say, I don't love seeing a Malphite with 0 AP, half health of Pantheon. That wasn't enjoyable to watch, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any better as he picked up the canvas. At least Natecho has something to do now. You know, he can just sit happily in that top lane farming all day, so it's a good goal.
Dark Chance looking for a play. The stun from Shirooke1 lands. The Sheriff Woody was forced to flash away, and the hook will now land too. Will he opt to take it? He shouldn't, and he wisely doesn't, as Natecho Libre it was pathing down. But I think it's coming to a point now where AJ Trace is a fully stacked tier. He has a Lich Bane, has a Lucidity boots too. He's going to dominate anyone in this side lane. And by the looks of it, Llama's going to do exactly the same thing too. And Shirooke1 seems to be caught. The Cataclysm goes down, but it's going to be flashed away from. There's the hook from Dark Chance. In the end, Job's going to get away. The trade is still happening in the bot lane, but if you look towards the top, everyone seems to have disengaged. Now just Llama dropping more Hazel unavailable. There will be no kills, but a lot of fighting.
Yeah, that's how to sum that up. And what I want to see now from Vigorous Beta is they take Kassadin, they stick him wherever the Shen is, just nullifies his ultimate because his Q will cancel the channel. There's nothing you can do about Natecho. He's going to go so many fights.
A lot of fight going down. They do use the Malzahar ult to take down the Thresh. He nearly got the kill on the Jarvan, but he was able to EQ away. But that just goes to show really what this Claytron's Academy comp can do. As Tom Cena gets a taunt on Kali, he is stuck now. Dark Chance does miss the hook, but AJ Tracy has a shit ton of damage and he's here. Will he try and find it? Tom Cena does escape. Wavelad's low, Kali's low. Dark Chance misses the hook, but Pantheon has the potential to go in. AJ Tracy has the damage, but neither team looking to do it. Another fight, and this time there was the kill. It's nice.
The killer is board. It's a bit of a good gold swing fight. Some gold back, let's say. Standing the bleeding as they're now 2.5k down. But yeah, as I was saying, there's nothing you can really do about the super minion wave. It's gonna arrive in the enemy's base, and you can't overextend to pressure that. So Natasha can just absorb that farm. You need to put Caston against this Shen because the Shen's built lots of armor and has invested his time in sort of not dying to any carry. Caston can easily interrupt his ults and be quite safe, where we've seen Justlama kind of taking a few beatings. So I want to see that Caston somewhere else, especially since he has his TP up first. And then the rest of Vigorous Space just group up on this Baron, and be a strong team. Push out mid lane, let top do its thing, and just group up there.
Seeing how little damage Malzahar's got, he uses a full combo on Woody. He might fall down, and the heal wasn't available. Somehow got the kill.
You underestimated the Voidlings.
Very, very awkward fight there as Natasha Libre is able to one-shot the Thresh with the whole combo, but
it just took him 5 seconds, yeah.
It just took him 5 seconds. They've sent Cassidy in mid, they've sent their bot lane top for some reason. It seems like Vigorous Base, while doing well in the early game to stem the bleeding and keep themselves in the game, seems not be looking so good now. Malphite uses the ultimate to get away, and there's a flag and drag as well to disengage. Are continuing to use these tools, and Malzahar not only getting a hell of a lot of minions and a hell of a lot of gold because of the super minions, is now also going to get a turret for his time up there in the top lane. And Vigorous Fate a little bit of slowing down. And there's a double man taunt on AJ Tracy and Wavelad. The Ashe ult will miss, but it's 4v3. A lot of damage down onto Wavelad. The Cataclysm goes down onto 2, including the Ashe. Pykel won't take him down. They'll end up getting the kill with Shadow Hopper, and that's a free kill with little to no response from Vigorous Beta. But they are here now. Justlama doesn't have his ult available, but Woody is here to potentially try and get a hook. AJ Tracy and the ult, I think it was from just a Q from Kali, will take down the jungler of Shuriken 1. Both junglers down, and now AJ Tracy trying to take down Shadow Hopper. A nice taunt from Tom Cena should take him down. Flashes away from that last bit of damage, but the flash ignite from Dark Chance should take him down. That's a nice use with some of the spells there. Tom Cena not landing on the trap, and Dark Chance will land the hook. So Tom Cena jumping in, but Kali will drop the heal to keep himself alive and take down the Shen. In the meantime, Malzahar is doing exactly what Justlama did earlier, and just actually running it down top lane and looking to get these turrets. Very strange macro play from these two teams, but they're stemming the bleeding, they're disengaging from the fights, and they're getting the objectives on the other side of the map because of it.
Do you want to take a breath? Well done. Yeah, I was to start that. I was going to praise Claytron for holding off the super minion wave as that is now spawned, and a good positioning from Natasha just to keep pushing. And then they just kept throwing themselves at each other until suddenly the inhibitor turret is a whisper away from dying. It didn't quite go down, but it had less than 100 hit points. The dragon does go over to the Claytrons as well. Oh, sorry, no, that went to Vigorous. And we threw kills around a lot, and I'm not even sure who came out ahead of that whole trade, but I think with the gold that probably went to Malzahar's pocket, now picking up that Landry's and that Rylai's and that Luden's, his burn is now going to really hurt. So I'd be happy with this if I was Claytrons. I think Vigorous can probably have used that inhibitor a bit better. But we're going to reset and see what the position of the map is now. A lot of vision has been cleared out, being wiped away. Everyone has hit at least 2 items, nearly 2.5 for Caitlyn, 2.5 for the Ashe as well. We're coming close to the late game, and I gotta say, I still know wisest who's going to win this game now. As we've seen, individual execution hasn't been perfect on both sides, but it's been pretty reliable. And the bot lane, we're going to have a wet noodle fight. Seems to the death.
It seems like Tom Cena is not getting the advantage of this trade. He's going to hope his W comes up soon to stop it, but Justlama still has ult. There it is, and he's just going to end up falling down, but there's a fight with the top lane. Cataclysm goes down, Sheriff Woody drops his ult on 2. Claytron's Academy picking up the early advantages. Shadow Hopper gets the kill onto Waveland. Now Kali's stuck between a rock and a hard place. The QSS goes down to keep him alive, but Shadow Hopper has the slows. So much damage, and there's the execution from Pantheon. That is 2 down for the side of Vigorous Beta. The TP has come up from Justlama, so it's a 4 versus 3. A lot of damage comes down to Justlama, but a flash over the wall. He will escape. AJ Tracy now looking for Natasha Libre. Sheriff Woody is out of the fight. It's almost a 1 versus 4, but in the end, looks like they're going to turn onto the Baron.
Yeah, and so Shen didn't get to use his ulti there, but in a way he didn't have to, because he traded his life for the 1v1, gets the Malphite ult. Malphite is now there and he's just unable to do anything after being beaten so low with no ulti. That is going to be the Baron after a really nice team fight from Claytons, turning immediately onto Kali as soon as he stepped up. He used their QSS, which is now turned into Mercurial Scimitar, but there was immediately that collapse onto the AD carry. Really nicely done as they pulled focus to the right target. Removed the main source of damage. Obviously, Tracy's there, but he's not going to throw himself into the mix when Malzahar's ult's around. So just a nicely executed. And they did lose the Shen on the bot side, but they'll happily take that trade.
They will indeed, and it's something I wanted to mention before the fight, that despite at the time Vigorous Beta had the gold lead, in fact on the carries of Claytron's Academy, they had the gold lead there. It was just the difference up in the top lane of the Malphite and the Shen that was causing a 2,000 gold difference, and Malzahar and Ashe having the lead, and now after that fight they're even more ahead. And yes, they've got tools to engage, they've got the scaling of the Catherine we've spoken about, but at the end of the day, if you're against a Malzahar and an Ashe who, let's get it wrong, they're not bad late game carries, they could potentially turn these fights as they did just there.
Yeah, absolutely, and to highlight the god, it's 3k on this Malzahar. He has two needlessly large rods. He's nearly an entire death cap ahead of the Cassidon. Just in straight itemization, which is obviously going to be devastating to see. So it seems like that early inhibitor turret, I'm not going to say it was intentional and it was a good macro decision, but it didn't hurt them as much as we thought it might, as they seem to have just funneled that gold. It's level 17 on the Malzahar. He's ahead of everyone else in the game and doing really good work. So we'll have to find out if he can use that advantage. And as you say, this Ashe now at 3 items, matching the Caitlyn, ahead in CS. It's hard to say which is the better late game carry because they both do very, very different roles. But when your team already has good hard CC, I don't hate the Ashe as that sort of hard engage to allow your secondary CC to land quite well.
Yeah, it's really going to be about execution. I think the entire game has been a story of execution with how these teams are able to execute on their picks, and sometimes in strange ways, but certainly good ways at times. 1-3-1 for Claytron's Academy. Malphite got stuck before by using his ult against the Shen and not against the mid lane. So we'll see how Vigorous Beta look to respond to this Baron now. Malzahar putting so much pressure against this Cassidon.
I really love the sort of 1-2-2 they've got going on. The Pantheon just doesn't need to be in a lane, obviously. He can be wherever he wants, and Shen just needs to be far back. So as long as they are keeping vision around Malzahar, keeping vision around Ashe, they can do whatever they want in terms of lane assignments and really make a dent here. And that looks like it's going to be bot lane turret just going down for free as they use the Baron buff to its advantage. Take the Drake, gonna reset, and sort of take stock of the fact they have a 4k gold lead. Obviously they don't know that amount. But reflecting the items, we're gonna see that needlessly large rod coming through for the the death kit coming through for the Malzahar. We're gonna see, presumably, now that Pyke has got his Duskblade Attractor, we're going to see him going for his second lethality item, which just gives him a bit more of a kick in these fights towards the end of them. It's shaping up quite nicely for Patrons, and I don't want to count Vigorous Beta out at all by any stretch, but they definitely are in the driving seat there, and it's their game to move. And those problems with execution that we thought we might have in that bot lane seem to have just been patched over. Like they found a few winning team fights early on. They didn't really struggle from that sort of anti-synergy of being potentially newer players together, and they really seem to have patched over that problem. So it's looking very good for them.
The pressure is going down mid, but Just Llama could get his first huge ultimate of the game. AJ Trace looking to go in, the are chasing him down there. The ultimate only lands onto Malzahar. He uses his stopwatch to keep him safe as they go onto the backline. Shadowhopper inside the 3-man cataclysm. Their judgment from Malzahar on the Clayton, he might fall down, but Ashe is taken down by the Java. A fight on all stages here. Caitlyn goes down too. Now the Pantheon is down. AJ Trace getting off so much damage. The taunt from Tom Cena, the execution from Pyke. This fight is all over the place. Who's going to end up with so far a 3-4-2 on the map? Nice hook from Sheriff Buddies. The EQ comes down. The ultimate from Pyke will take him down too. Tom Cena with a 2-man taunt. This could be big from Tarkjans if he can get enough damage to continue to get these executions off. The slow onto Tom Cena. Can he get any bit of damage down on there? The shield might keep him alive, but it's not going to do any more. Just Llama will take him down, and Pyke will escape. And the end of it, finally the engage the Vigorous Beta needed.
Yeah, they found the fight with the engage. They should not be the ones getting those engages off, but they did. They managed to find it. Just Llama only able to catch one. It was the Malzahar, and he did not do enough as Malzahar turned around, just annihilated Kali. Fourth wave allowed to come and deal with him himself, and he took up 3 members. But that Cassian was just doing all the work on the backline of Claytrons, and that's probably going to shape this team both, decided now by the mid laners, it would seem. They're both just doing tons of damage to both the backliners. But a really nice fight from Vigorous. They're going to be happy with that sort of sigh of relief. Goal gap is still large, but they're able to sort of alleviate some pressure. And it looks like the next fights we're going to see will be in this Baron, which is respawning in just 1 minute's time.
I think the two last team fights massively tell the story of the game, if I'm honest. The last one was around the Baron, where it was a 4v4, and Malphite, yes, beat the Shen in the 1v1, but wasn't there to turn the table of, or turn the tail of the fight, is what I'm trying to say. And Claytron's Academy won the 4v4. This time it was Malphite saying, no, you get here, I'm going to press my R button on all of you this time. Granted, it only hit one, but the nature of it being 5v5 made it so much better for Vigorous Beta, and that's going to be the test now. Where does Shen be on the map? And how will Vigorous Beta look to counter the 4-1? Because they clearly know now that the 5v5 works, and Malphite is on the flank. There's the flash, and it's a 3-man ultimate as AJ Tracy comes in, and Ash is already taken down. Pantheon getting taken out too, and Sheriff Buddy will take up that kill. It's now 5v3, but just Llama, he presses F and R this time, and Claytron's Academy are left reeling.
Excellent engage, exactly what you want to see from Claytrons if you're a Vigorous Beta fan. That was a massive engage. Found the 3 men, just sat on top of each other, takes them out, and without hesitation, he goes to Baron. Jungler's down. This should be theirs to lose. Natasha Libre is going to try and poke what he can. There is a Shen still at full life, and a Pyke who's going to look to see if he can find these low health targets. So this isn't a done deal. We'll have to see if Claytrons can play around it, but this was a really nice setup, at least for Vigorous Beta, and they are going to take that Baron away.
Would have been embarrassing if Wavelad misses a smite to an Natasha Libre ward in there, wouldn't it? But they are able to pick that up. The second round of the game, this time it's to the other team, it's Vigorous Beta. The game has been so back and forth. Claytron's Academy taking it up early, Vigorous Beta getting the return and getting that pressure up in the top lane in here. But then it's Claytron's Academy win a fight and get Baron, but as he look to try and end, you've got the big Just Llama up there on the Malphite to turn the tables, and now they're the ones with the Baron. It's going to be difficult now. We'll see what's the fourth straight to come up. We are at Elder levels now, as we are past that mark, and we can see that Claytron's Academy are around there, but now it's actually not just matching a Kassadin, it's matching a Baron empowered Kassadin, and we'll see if Malzahar's actually able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the magic resistance you get from that Baron is going to make it really hard for him to push down. I want to see Shen on the other side of the map making pressure, but he was in the top side, deep into his own team's area. He didn't gain anything from not really being in that initial fight, whereas you'd expect, at the very least, if you're on that fight, you're knocking on the door of the tower.
Gets plugged onto Wavelad. This could be a burst onto the jungle, but there's the Lantern. The EQ will keep him safe, and here's the TP from Just Llama. AJ Tracy trying to chase down Shizuke 1. The Shen'll comes down. It's a nice ultimate from Ash, will keep him safe, but in the end, the Shen'll doesn't actually go through, and that means it's going to be a 5v3 as Shizuke 1 gets taken down. When there's the EQ cover, will knock up Dark Chance. Ash is still alive, but the Cataclysm onto 2. The flash away from Shadow Hopper will keep him alive. The takes the Libre trying to escape on the backside, but will fall down. Does use the ultimate, but it won't last for long, and that is 5 members, still alive for Vigorous Beta. Not only will they have the Baron, they'll have the Elder Dragon too.
And they're going to send Kassadin straight up to the top side to force them to, if they want to contend it, they're going to lose an inhibitor. They back away to try and deal with the Kassadin. That's going to be the Elder Drake. It's only the first one of the game, so it's not going to have a very long duration, and it's only got 1 Drake behind, but it sets up another win condition for Vigorous. They don't now need to find these team fights, which they've been having such success with anyway. They can choose, if they want to just, wait out, accept the Elder Drake, and then win a team fight almost by default.
It's going to be very, very hard for Claytron's Academy now. Tom Cena dying to get something on AJ Tracy, but he may end up just dying full stop. Mid lane is pushing in Baron and Elder. They're scared to do anything. Very little wave clear there, and Ash doesn't know where to place herself. That's the mid lane. Inhibitor turret gone down. Now they're going to get the inhib too. No doubt they'll rotate up to the top lane to get that one. The hook will land from Dark Chance. Will they look? Tom Cena does go in, but so much damage from that Elder buff. And there's a hook onto Dark Chance. The EQ will land, but it's a nice 3-man stun. Can't find a fight yet. Just Llama does have his ult available. Ash doesn't have flash. In the end, looks like VGB just going to back off, although they do have Elder and Baron, so they very much don't need to. 2 inhibitors gone down. Vigorous Beta taking this game by the scruff of its neck so far.
Yeah, and they've really seized back control of it. When Natasha's Libre is down, that is 17,000 gold that is not on the map. That's the most of any person in the game. So, rightly knowing that they can, as soon as there is no Malzahar, do pretty much whatever they want to the base of Claytron's Academy. Vigorous now looking to reset. No question of where they should head. They want to be grouping as 5 and hitting this bot lane tower. What can the globals that we haven't really seen pay off for Claytrons? What can they be used to achieve here? So that is really, really big Malphite.
Yeah, he is one big daddy Malphite. That is certainly the case. Now Malphite
600
overstepping a
armor.
little bit. I'm surprised they didn't pull the trigger there. They very much could have killed him, but maybe just unsure of where the rest of the members were. And I think Clayton's Academy, they're just kind of going to have to just let this bot lane turret go and look for kind of a last hurrah fight. Wait for this Elder to run out. Baron has now run out, so it is just the Elder Dragon that's still up. And there's the ultimate, but it will land, but Malzahar's instantly gone down, but just Llama's ultimate is on cooldown, which could be key. That's the main form of wave clear there as the Tasha Libre falls down.
Yeah, I mean, and that should really spell the end of the game. Shen is nowhere near where he needs to be threatening a trade that Vigorous don't want to take. Setting up the traps, using the siege that can be achieved. Malphite's ult, halfway to being back up again. He'll have it way before Natasha can rejoin the fight. And they should look to just close this game out. With,
and there's the two-man captain for Waveland. So much damage down to Shadowhopper, instantly taken down by Kali. Another kill onto the Pantheon. The final inhibitor falls down, and that key fight there, another key engaged at Vigorous Beta and taking this game is going to make this game over. It's going to be 1-0 so far to Vigorous Beta. As I say, that Thresh gets caught. We'll see if I've jumping on. But no doubt, as they take the Nexus, Vigorous Beta in a very back and forth game will take game 1 of the series. This is Claytron's Academy.
Yeah, a really, really commanding turnaround there from Vigorous Beta. They were up against the ropes for sure. Found out one team fight is just Llama decides, I've still got the playmaker. I got all stuff and support for a reason. Takes it to the top lane with the Malphite. Hits the engage button, and it's good night for Claytron's Academy for that first game. Close game and lots to take away that they should be positive with. I honestly think they could play the exact same game, not even change the champion picks, and have a completely different victory. But Vigorous Beta definitely played that mid to late game much better, and the execution, as you say, was key.
It certainly was. News has come in, though, that Deja Vu did beat World Saves Lives Academy in the other series going on today, which is going to mean that they are now 2 points clear of both World Saves Lives Academy and Vigorous Beta. Vigorous Beta will need to win this game to be back 1 point behind with the 2 weeks left remaining after today. So as we get into game 2, and we will take a second, Vigorous Beta know that they need to win if they're going to stay 1 point behind Deja Vu. But we will take a short break, and we'll be back to you very shortly with game 2 of Vigorous Beta versus Claytron's Academy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Game 2 of Claytron's Academy versus Vigorous Beta. Vigorous Beta being lucky, kind of skill. They got Game 1 anyway. Claytron's Academy, though, did make it very close with one insane comeback and an early lead from them. Um, News was just in that Deja Vu did take the series against World Saves Lives Academy, which means Vigorous Beta need to win this if they're going to have a chance of topping the league before playoffs. We are still waiting on Tom Cena to come back before we ready up the game. But Mythic Warpig, after seeing that first game, we're seeing a change of sides now. So obviously Claytron's Academy being on blue side. Do you think that'll make a difference for one team, or do you think it'll just kind of the game will go as normal?
I think it matters a lot for Claytrons. They get one ban, essentially. They get to take away something from which they're not being able to do through bans. So that's going to be important for them to deny something. What that something is, I'm not really sure, because it's not like Malphite as a champion you want to be first picking, to take away, which is clearly the main. In terms of what that means for the game, I don't think that honestly that will change too much. I think the draft was pretty good from both teams, and I expect it will be of the same sort of caliber again. It's going to be down to the execution. I don't think the sides are going to make too much of a difference. What I do want to look at is if Malzahar gets through, and because that was the main sort of thorn in the side of Vigorous last game, and if they just say, no, we're not dealing with that, add that to the ban list, maybe don't worry about the Yorick or the ban Darius as well.
Yeah, got Darius and another top laner, but I can't remember which one it was.
It was Yorick, yeah.
Oh, was it Yorick?
Yeah, it's something that Tom Cena plays, but down the Aatrox.
I think one thing that I'd like to see from Claytron's Academy is actually to deny the Jarvan from Waverlad. It does what Pantheon does, but better. It does have that ability to just target one person, CC them, and in the late game, it does scale quite nicely. Waverlad actually opted for a tankier build than I'd usually recommend, but that'd be probably a good denial pick. They early picked the Pantheon. I wasn't a big fan, especially for just getting that early aggro play sorted. I think another thing that I want to see is a change. Is VGB divert from the Caitlyn bot lane. I think Caddy didn't have a bad game at all. I just think for what that champion actually is, I don't think it was truly executed to its highest potential. Really about lane dominating and not just being a late game carry of a single target burst. So I want to see him kind of change up to something else, maybe a priority on something a little bit more like a character as Zaya, maybe even a Sivir if you want to go down that route. As you know, I would say that. But just something that's going to do a little bit more, potentially on two items, and just really look to kind of snowball and take control over the bot lane. Because Dark Chance played well, don't get me wrong, but we didn't see too much from Shadowhopper and Dark Chance in the laning phase. So I think he could potentially look to abuse that and really secure up his team. But we'll see where it goes.
I mean, just to bring it back a little bit, I think you don't need to put any priority on the Caitlyn. You definitely don't need to be first, second picking it. It didn't really do much. It was level on CS until about 15 minutes ahead, which is not what you particularly want. And the same thing, I don't want to see really priority on Pantheon. Did we see any Pantheon ults that really made it? The Rex I couldn't have just found to do the exact same thing. I think there were like 2 Pantheon ults that did really anything. And it's not the easiest to execute, but if you can't, that is such a big part of his kit towards the sort of level 6 through 9 where you're still in the laning phase that you need to pick a champion that's going to have more impact. And there is that potential to take away the Jarvan, even the Lee Sin, if Shuriken is going to want to play, to take that away from Waverlad. So we'll have to find out if that's going to take a bit more priority.
I mean, a first pick Lee Sin would maybe be the most Chad thing I've ever seen in VL.
I want to say it.
And I mean, Impress played Ivern last week, and this would be that. So we'll see what they go for. Obviously, Claytron's Academy not being given their bans. Obviously, they have had a replacement player, which means they are unfortunately not able to ban. Vigorous Beta did have the choice to let them have it, but they said no, which fair enough. Take any advantage you can.
It's an important game for them. They do need to win this, right? To stay within touching distance today. Swain's gone again. I'm sad about that. I love Swain. He's so fun to watch. So that's gone away, taking that away from Dark Chance, who I like you say, didn't have a huge early game impact, but I don't think did terribly. I wanted to see him roam and be unlocked a bit more, and that's where maybe a stronger wave clearing AD carry can potentially come in, which we're both kind of wanting to see on both sides. Here is something like they can easily abuse any advantages. But we'll have to see what makes it through the draft that shouldn't. I mean, you don't take away, like I said, you don't take away the Malphite. necessarily, you're not going to take that away. So if they just wants that again, he's going to have it. I don't ultimately think it was the deciding factor. Yes, it made the flashy plays, but I think any hard engage would have done the same trick, and it was just Vigorous Beta pulling the trigger first over the Claytrons that sold them down the river for one term. So I think they're going to have to look at improvements with their execution and not draft.
I've got to give credit to Vigorous Beta's draft, actually. Now we can reverse engineer it, because I criticised the Darius and the Urgot ban. But actually, I think that was a foresight ban of the fact that they know they wanted Malphite. And given how Malphite played it, yes, you can turn around and say you didn't really do a whole lot. And well, you got a kind of lead in the 1v1, and you did find the clutch engage, and it ended up fed. But that's just kind of a thing that ended up happening. I think actually it might be something that happens a lot for Vigorous Beta, and that's why they put the priority on it, and they've kept with the same bans. And it makes me think about Claytron's Academy, their counter to Malphite was a Shen. It's not
that's not a counter, you're right. That is an admission of passivity.
If they pick the Malphite again, if it has anywhere near the same amount of impact, Claytron's Academy, they've shown they've not got an answer, and they've actually opted for a Zyra first pick, flex pick to mid or support, I can only assume, but it's a strange first pick, especially when they know the pressure's there.
It's so dangerous. Like, there's so many things that just decide Zyra doesn't get to more. Pike is definitely one of them, and I would not be surprised if this gets picked. Partly as a takeaway, and partly just because, the Pike being something that Dark Trans plays, and also because it's so good into Zyra, because she doesn't move very fast and doesn't have any help.
I really want to see a Xayah now. Xayah is the perfect pick for Kelly to pick up if he can play it. With the champions he's got and the champions against, just right now, it would be great. But we'll see what they opt to go for. This might be Vigorous Beta just showing off a little bit if they lock in Pike and Lee Sin in the first rotation, because that is stupidly over-aggressive.
That is. Echo is equally as aggressive. We've been seeing, in the very high echelons, quite a lot of Echo now, as he's had some buffs, which make him so fun to watch. Not a preferred champion of mine. But we'll have to see if that's going jungle or mid lane, or potentially not. I wouldn't necessarily expect that. Trundle's coming in. That is a very interesting early pick as well, because that's typically used as a counter / denial. Like, you don't pick certain things into a Trundle, but the main one was you don't pick Sejuani into Trundle. And Sejuani's been hit with a nerf bat now, isn't probably not going to see play anyway. So that's a very interesting early pick, Trundle.
Now, the Xayah, I don't agree with the Trundle. No tanks. Why would you pick it? It's just going to get absolutely shafted by an Echo, I can only assume. The Xayah is a potential takeaway. I don't actually know what it's going to do in lane, and that's another...
You wanted to talk about Shad picks. Draven Pike. Well, we know what they're going to try and do. I almost want to see the Zyra flexed away from that lane. That's just going to be unfair.
Yeah, they're really just going to get walking down, and they've already locked in their jungler, which means there's going to be very little support for laners just going to absolutely go ham. And I'm fairly sure I've got the interaction correct, but if Pike ults a target, he gets 600 gold, Draven gets 300 gold, and Draven also gets the adoration stacks, which means one kill could potentially offer over excess of 1,000 even without a bounty, which is pretty insane. So if they can get that rolling.
I don't know if that works for Draven. I really hope it. That's disgusting if that works. We'll have to find out if he also gets the stacks in. There is that Orianna where they're gonna ban the Malphite and just knock out that combo, which we didn't even see. I like that there's the potential now. Okay, there's a world where Trundle goes support now, and we see Zyra in the mid lane. There's a world where that was a meta. I don't know if that would help them. I'm just trying to think of ways around this lane. They still do have the Xayah. Xayah being one of the premier top 2 picks.
It's a Lulu.
And it's a Lulu. What are they doing?
I know AJ Tracy or Dan has played Lulu top in the past, as well as many other insane picks, but he could certainly be taking that into the mid lane. Is
this just Llama not having a top lane champion pool without the Malphite? No, I need to play my supports and going back. We'll have to find out where that goes. I mean, they're going to obviously then relying on the Draven and the Echo for damage. It seems they haven't got any sort of a front line yet. You're presuming they're going to look something in health. So we'll have to see if they actually have enough damage sources. As the Veigar comes in, I quite like this, actually. This is a really good into these sort of, into Pike and Echo, who struggle to move around without, you seeing them coming. Not going to do a great deal into anything that Lulu's around. She's obviously just going to ult, but I do like the Veigar pick. And we're seeing the Aatrox, which I'm a little surprised by. He has been just put to the ground in terms of nerfs.
I think he did get a recent buff, didn't he, of more damage to minions, because they've obviously he had
he lost that.
reduced.
Oh, did he get it back? I'm
He
not
got
aware.
a little bit back, yeah. So we'll see how that one opts to go from. We'll see what Llama opts to pick into this, which I think almost confirms that it's Echo Jungle and Lulu mid. Although we will see if there is any more changes.
Could also be Pike top, Lulu support, Mordekaiser mid. There are a lot of combinations to work around. We'll see them coming. I like Mordekaiser. I don't know what he does to this team particularly. I mean, anyone you grab is just you're not in the fight. But then where's the front line for VGR? What stops them then just being run at?
I assume they're just hoping that Lulu becomes that front line, and it looks like they're actually going to send Pike mid, which I didn't expect. A lot of questionable decisions from Vigorous Bait, and we'll see how they're able to execute that. The thing that I'm not a big fan of is the locking in the Lulu and the Mordekaiser is not really giving them an additional win condition, and it's not massively supported one they already had. And it's making me actually like Clayton Academy's composition more. They're gonna get shafted bot lane, but I think they'll still be okay.
If they can absorb that pressure, they'll be fine. I mean, Mordekaiser enables split pushing. That's its main deal is to take a 2v1, make it a 1v1 for 7 seconds, and then hopefully then proceed to 1v1 the next contender. But if VGR are looking for a split push comp, have they built the rest of the team around it? As you say, is the Draven, Lulu, Echo going to support split pushing? Yes, Pike can do a decent job by being mobile, but once again, Mordecai is going to take people into a shadow realm, and Pike's not even going to be involved. So, is this the team you want? And they're so easy to engage on. I do like Claytron's ability to maybe get back in this game, but this is a snowball game. We're going to see presumably early red buff on the Echo, and he's just appear in Veigar's face. And once he's done with that, he'll go take his blue, or he'll take his other buff, and then go down to bot lane and have some fun there. And they're going to try and roll that snowball down the hill. You have to expect. Otherwise, it's just a much more standard comp from Claytron's. Yeah, a few off meta picks, but still doing a front-to-back team fight as you expect.
I'm going to bring up a couple of points. Well, a point that you made earlier about Veigar being pretty decent into Echo and Pike. And now, granted, Echo can just ult the Veigar ult and be absolutely safe from that level of burst. And yes, that's a point, but we all know what Veigar wants to do. He just wants to stack. Give me more AP. We're going to hit 30 minutes. And by the way, I pressed Q and you're dead. That's where he wants to get to. In lane, he's got a Pike who, despite all his mobility, it doesn't do squat to a baby cage. And he's not got the wave clear he's got anymore. So Veigar's going to have complete control and prio over that lane. And you said before, the Veigar's going to stop Echo from jumping on top of him. Echo's dash is so telegraphed, he dashes before he dashes. Oh, you've done a dash? And put a baby cage down, good luck, summoner. It's making it a little bit harder for me to see how Vigorous Beta actually look to make things happen.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's also the most exciting part.
Yeah, it's if they can work around. Obviously, the Tesha Neighbor, from what we've seen, plays these slow burn control mages. Sit in the mid lane, push it out, force the other player to stay with you. That seems to be his style. It's going to be interesting to see if Vigorous can play around that and get the focus that a Draven really does need early on, because if he doesn't start snowballing, he still does a lot of damage taken away from Draven, but like he wants to be ahead of that curve in terms of gold. So if they can get around that control from Veigar, that sort of easy wave clear from Xayah, if they can, focus those lanes, should be great for Vigorous. But this does look like Playtron's favorite draft, all in all. But we'll have to see if they've been practicing this much more funky style as we're about to head into the game. We'll have to see if Vigorous know what they're doing with this couple of picks that probably threw Playtron's for a curveball.
Well, yeah, that's always the thing, isn't it? You see a composition like this, and you think, no, that doesn't work. Stop being stupid. And it's until you actually see it work that you then think, oh, damn, you've got something blocked there. And that's the question. We've seen it in the past with many different teams trying many different styles and compositions. That some work, some don't. But we'll see how they end up going. My question to you is, what do you expect Shiruke to do? And I know it seems like a stupid question out of all the different variables in this game, but Shiruke 1 is going to have a little bit of a challenge dealing with everything that Vigorous Beta have got. when they've not got a tank. So what's your expectation? What do you want to see him do to neutralize, nullify, and allow the game to scale?
So the pillar is obviously the tool you have in the jungle. Like you're not fighting Echo. If you could even get on top of him, he's going to disengage. He's slow, his dash be over. So you're not really going to deal with the Echo. So you're going to look. You have to look to gank. You also don't scale, so you have to look to gank. Where do you gank? Well, there's Mordekaiser, who's pretty mobile, and there's a Draven, who is terribly mobile. Either one of those are viable targets, let's say. But what's backing those up? Do you want to take a fight into Draven, Lulu, Echo, potentially? Do you want to take a fight into a Mordekaiser Echo? Those aren't battles you want to take. So Shuriken is going to have to be quite creative, I think. He's not got the targets to steal stats from. He's not really got the ability to find a fight in the jungle, which Trundle is also very good at. So what I want to see him do is somehow find those things, but it's going to be mostly on how creative he can be with the buffs.
With all that said, and all that in our minds at the moment, who do you think is going to take game 2?
I mean, I want it to be Claytrons. Let's have a game 3. But I've seen enough weird, cheesy comps to know that when you don't know what you're going up against, you're just at that disadvantage. So I'll give you an answer in 3 minutes. Right now, I'm going to say Claytrons, but in 2 minutes' time, it's with 0 and 4 on the scoreboard. We'll have a bit more of an idea.
That kind of gives us the storyline that you're on a timer, Vigorous Beta. You are on a timer. We'll see if they're able to execute, be aggressive, which was something we didn't see from them too much last game. Yes, there was a lot of early action from Waverlad. Not a lot of it worked. But we'll see if they're able to be aggressive, creative, and force that lead.
Why does Pike have Hail of Blades? I'm so confused.
I don't know. I don't know. Aftershock seems like it would be so useful.
Electrocute would also be nice. Yeah.
We'll see what he's got on his mind. There's an Echo starting that red buff, and I think it's really got a kind of. To be honest, you could probably gank now. I think.
I want to see him going. I want to see him going mid level too. He can go and apply red buff slow and just take Muteshi down to a third and then help to his weaver. I want to see if he looks to do that. But yeah, like I say, it's going to be a topside focus coming down to this bottom side where, you know, we have a very squishy Zyra.
And at the same time, last game I said something about Kali playing the Caitlyn, that you've got to be aggressive in lane, you've got to poke, you've got to use trading stance, you've got to deny. And he didn't really do it. Yeah, he did a couple of auto attacks, but it clearly wasn't denying Shadowhopper anything. Now he's on a champion that's got even more of a need to do it. More capability of doing it, but a higher need, and we'll see if he's actually capable, because last game he didn't show me enough, and as much of it is a Chad pick, you've got to actually be Chad enough to use it.
The first thing you said in Chad is like, I want to see him picking something safer with more wave play. He's gone for the single target king. And yeah, we'll have to see, as you say, if he can execute it, as so much of this series is going to come down to execution, as, you know, last game showed us there isn't too much in these teams. Like, there was a very even early game, Patrons pulled ahead for the mid game, and then VGR just sort of showed a better teamfight execution. But there wasn't much in it. There was some questionable macro from both teams, but it seemed to essentially even out. So we'll have to find out if it's going to come down to these sort of champion picks, this weird sort of double assassin threat coming out of the mid jungle combo, or if we can get some gold early onto Draven. It's really going to depend on that.
I've been quite intrigued by this top lane early on. They picked the Mordekaiser into the Aatrox. I fear now that it was just because they wanted AP, and Tom Cena really seems to be in control. He's denied a lot of CS, he's won out on a lot of the trades, and it's making me worry now what this Mordekaiser is actually going to do against this Aatrox.
I wouldn't worry too much for the early game. Like Mordekaiser's early game is cooldown gated, as is the Aatrox's, but the Aatrox has that Q to really hammer the wave into the tower, whereas Mordekaiser's Q has such a long cooldown comparatively. So we'll have to see if we can make it work. As
Echo come in. Trundle is there for the counter gank, coming from behind them, and it's a flash away from Veigar. Nice use of the stun, but as we say that, Shadowhopper going in on Kali in the bot lane. Ignite goes down. One more ult attack would do it, but Shadowhopper decides not to flash to get it. No kills down, but the fight is still on mid as AJ Tracer going in against Shizuke-1. Does use his flash, and now they're stuck in the baby cage. Natural Libre has no mana to do anything. A double stun from Waverlad, but here comes Tom Cena. Will Natural Libre fall down? He will. It's a first one for AJ Tracer on the fight. Tom Cena, the flash forward, one more attack, won't get it, and there's a hook to make it AJ Tracy to keep Wavelad safe. The double stun will keep him safe too, and there's the mobility. It's going to be first blood for AJ Tracy in the mid lane.
And a really tough team. Oh, there's another. Callie walks away with about 60 HP. So that early pressure we see from Tomcina almost getting in the turnaround as he's able to make that roam. But very nice from both the Echo and the Pike. They just sit in that baby cage. They're happy to wait. The Tetra Libra with no mana just standing a little too close. And as soon as that, that cage, the walls are down, baby's free, and he was not happy with it. So managed to pick up an early kill and walk away with nothing. That's very important. It's just going to cement this Pike, get him to his presumed Dusk Blade earlier on, which will allow him to actually do anything in the lane, but otherwise he's just going to eat you in the day.
You asked me to ask you 3 minutes later, I'm going to ask you 4 minutes later. Yes, they've got a kill. Yes, they have. But does it actually mean anything? And has your opinion changed on who you think will win?
No, I still want to give this one to Claytrons, just because we've seen somehow Shadowhopper and Darkchance beating the heck out of Callie and Sheriff. They're 10 CS down, managed to get a favourable back time. This Draven has just returned with just one longsword and boots compared to the double longsword Dorans of Shadowhopper. So I'm gonna give it to them. I'm gonna keep with my initial. It's going to Claytrons. As I say, that Tomcina looks like he's gonna be going down.
Oh, nice cover there for just to pull him back in, but doesn't end up getting stunned. Tomcina trying to use the heal, won't happen, and Wavelad picks up a kill in the top side.
Yeah, that's really nice hook from just Llama, just securing that kill. Good passing from Wavelad. Yeah, not really enough respect paid to the Apex there, who overextended onto a big ward, really.
Speaking of overextension, Natasha Libre is here, able to dodge out everything, but has no mana. Will drop the Q, the TP comes down from Tomcina, but there will be no continued chase. And then that's 2 for nothing now, and they're getting nice little advantages and kills, but the CS is telling a different story, and Shuriken now looking to do something on the map. In the end, nothing will happen. It was a nice little fight in the mid lane though earlier, and we'll see if we do get any more of those, because mechanically it's looking like how Vigorous Beta are going to outperform them, even if the laning phase isn't going in their way.
What's Tomcina doing? Because he did not really confident with that players. He's sort of sitting around mid lane.
Talk about these fights in the mid lane. The pillar goes down, flash away from AJ Tracy. Wavelad will drop the E to get away. No fight, no pressure over the Infernal now. Tomcina's hooked on the turret, will go low. The baby cage will keep AJ Tracy stuck, but he will just go into that ghost mode and get away. But there's a TP from Just Llama. What is happening in this game? And it looks like they're just pinging on for the Drake.
Alright, so let's bring it back. So Tomcina leaves his lane, sits around the Natasha Libre who has no mana, doesn't help him push it in, walks towards Dragon, and it looks like they want to do it, which you can kind of with trouble early. And then they return for a fight where no one goes down. And then Just Llama teleports, and all sense of top lane is gone. They're even on CS, but Aatrox is returning to his lane. I'm not sure what's happened, but the Infernal Drake has gone down. Wavelad gets it with the smite. We're going to reset and have to take stock of what items come through once you imagine Just Llama's reset. Wavelad resets in a moment. See where we are. But one thing we can definitely highlight is there is a 20 CS lead in Shadowhopper, and that is the lane without any shenanigans. So that is going very, very well.
It certainly is. And when you pick Draven, you've got to make sure you've got the composition to make it work. And I think with the Pike you had that, but they opted to put the Lulu bot and the Pike mid, and we'll see if that ends up working for them.
Yeah, I
really wanted to make something happen, but AJ Tracy with the hook. Not going to be in tower range, and Wavelad once again showing up. Will miss a stun. It's a nice route from Darkchance. Wavelad could come down, but does have ult. Will he use it? He will, and lands straight on top of Shadowhopper. Flashes away. The Q, the auto attack. Will he get it stuck? Yes, he was. Darkchance takes down Callie. Shadowhopper doesn't have heal. Callie will take up the kill and cashing in those adoration stacks. He's pretty low though, but he does have Lulu around to try and kill the Zyrates. We say that Natasha Libre just one-shots AJ Tracy. Will Darkchance put down the slow land from Lulu, the ignite, and the final auto attack will pick up the kill. 2v2 kill to get 2 kills in the bot lane. Although I will say that Echo did go down and eventually fall down to Shadowhopper. Darkchance at the same time. Now Tomcina stuck in between Llama and the turret, but Shuriken is here as well. He is stuck inside the Shadow Realm. We'll see if he's able to get anything off. Shuriken though, only level 5. Trying to get some damage down to Llama, but there's absolutely nothing there. Tomcina, thank God he didn't take a tower shot.
Oof. Okay, so really, I'm not going to put down the fight too much as it was messy. Great ult from Echo, forcing Shadowhopper to have to flash away, gave him the health back just enough damage to everyone else to allow Kali to pick up one of the kills. Just Llama with a nice Mordekaiser roll there as he sees the gank coming in, I think, and decides that he needs to get out of that 2v1. So walks to his tower with the ulti, just to allow him to be in a safe spot. So by the time the pillar comes through, he's in a safe enough position, having taken basically no damage. Good use of the Mordekaiser, and that's kind of what we're going to look to be seeing for the rest of the game if this split push Mord is going to, do anything. But the Draven does get a kill, has cashed in, is sitting now with a vamp set to BF. Not ahead by any means, but closer to being on track.
And as we say that, Natasha Labour just find AJ Tracy inside the baby cage, but now Wavelad looks to try and get some damage on Shizuruke, who gets so much damage taken out of him with the Wavelad proc, and instantly burst after the hook, and there's another kill. It's 5 for 2 now for Vigorous Bait, and despite bot lane not going how they'd like, despite the kills, so fed in the mid jungle.
Yeah, and get used to seeing Echo. I feel like he's going to be a staple in Worlds with a couple of recent buffs. It is interesting at least to watch him dart around, but that was a lot of damage come through. We didn't highlight that Natasha Labour managed to pick up a kill. I'm not sure how that happened, as my screen was focused on the bot side. I presume he just sort of Veigar'd him to death with an ulti.
Oh, I didn't even see that kill either. He must have done. To say that, we can see the support. That's not even support. Pyke's the mid laner. We can see Pyke and Echo looking to get some pressure in jungle. Veigar's got to be careful he doesn't overstep. And TomC now looking for an all-in. Just Llama trying to get out. Doesn't have ultimate or really anything available. One more auto attack will do it. The flash, not necessary, but style points. There's the Chad from TomC. There's the root.
Killed him under tower. Very nicely done. Not quite sure how that happened, but well executed. Just Llama had his flash though, and that is the combo we wanted to see. Pyke Echo just hanging around on nothing ward, moving the enemy's jungle. So as soon as anyone goes to get vision, they're there to pounce. We're going to capitalize and pick up this turret plate damage. Kind of want to see them rotate to this, this Rift Skull and see if they can break down this Llama. But yeah, I'm a bit confused about how the Atra's going to kill the top lane. Very well played. It must have been TomC.
Yeah, just absolutely going to town and just flashing on the turret to take him down. And that's just the damage difference, I suppose, in this matchup. And again, the question gets asked, if you picked the Mordekaiser, we've not yet found out why. He did get the good kind of kill when he got ganked, but we'll see how they end up shooing. Dark Chance trying to get some burst down to Kali, but misses everything. And now Shiruke 1's here, but so much damage from Draven's going to take him down. The root won't land as Kali flashes away, as well as the Lulu will. They could potentially have to turn this if they want to carry on. The slow from the pillar will disengage. But it doesn't matter how many people are there. If you just focus the squishy Zyra and Zyra misses everything, that Zyra's going to die. And that is now a 2-0-1 on this Draven for Kali. As long as he doesn't die, he's going to get a hell of a lot of kills from these, a hell of a lot of money from these kills.
Yeah, and that's what we highlighted at the start, like how easy it is to kill this Zyra was a theme throughout the draft, where we were thinking it must surely be Pyke from the bot side. But they still have used the Pyke to good advantage, so it's not been a wasted pick there. Just, you have to think maybe if he was bot side, that kill would have happened a lot earlier. Still a good team fight from Kali, flashing away just at the right time after dishing out good damage. And he's continued to draw this jungler's pressure, which is obviously given him some good free time for the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, and obviously on the flip side, we've seen how much impact Echo's had on this game. Wavelad, once again, being incredibly kind of aggressive in terms of ganks, but this time it's actually making it stick, having the communication with his teammates. And that W, when he just throws it down, your teammates kind of know, oh yeah, let's go in now. And it's certainly working.
And so, as you still took for impact.
But Shiruke is allowed. The Ignite was dropped down, the flash away. I still think it hit, but not enough damage. And now Shiruke 1 trying to push him down, but Wavelad's here. The stun will connect on Shiruke 1, but now Shadow Hopper's here. Will they get the damage onto Chunder? It looks like they will, as Pyke lands the stun to get down. Wavelad so close, but he's actually alive out of that one. Split second. He's able to survive, and that's just one kill on Shiruke, and I think that's it. TomC looking for a trade up in the top lane.
Shouldn't say anything in the top lane. So that is, in a nutshell, why we said we didn't like the Trundle. We saw him really struggle to do anything in that fight, as he was just running towards Wavelad or Tracy, sorry, who just even turned around and dashed back towards him with the distance he'd managed to gain. There's just not a lot Trundle can do. And we're looking at a 20 CS lead, 6 kill participation extra, and 2k, all in favor of Wavelad over this Trundle pick. It's really not done the work you kind of expect it to need to do. It's just Llama's going to try and take this fight on the top side.
Yeah, he activates the ultimate as he pulls TomC under the turret, but just end up just walking away. Aatrox with a little bit of mobility makes him kind of safe in this matchup, it seems.
It was a good opportunity.
I think the VGB look to go for, and what do you expect them to really look to pursue? Is it seems like they've got leads kind of everywhere now.
I kind of want to see them actually go for this Mandrake. Normally, I always say go for the Rift Tower, but the plates are down. Go for the Mandrake. Mordekaiser's burn onto objectives is really, really strong. He gets that AoE.
3v3 will happen. Just Lama gets stuck in the baby cage. A lot of damage coming down. Double pull onto Tom Cena and Shruka 1. Wavelad looking for the turn on Tom Cena. The knockup won't land and he'll get taken down. Will the stun land on Shruka 1? Not quite, but that's a double kill for Wavelad. Doesn't need to continue, but that's a strange call from Claytron's Academy, thinking that he had the right to go for that Rift Hold there.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to go back on my prediction. I think let's walk that one back. Wavelad's done a lot of work. There's a 5k gold lead. Near enough. 7 kills to the good. No turrets down, but they do have an Infernal Drake. And like you said, he didn't really feel like Claytron's had the right to go for that contest. Vigorous gaming, landing good to see to make it count. I want to go back to the Mordekaiser. Get this Mandrake. It's very strong. They can actually do it very early objectives. They sort of lack the rest of the damage. I think they need it if they want to take this down. Alternatively, however, based on their team craft, I expect they just run around and try and get kills at this point in the game. They're so far ahead. The gold is on Pike. The gold is on Echo. Just go and find people and kill them. Trundle is nowhere near tanky. He's only just completed Cinderhulk. There's no one that those two probably can't kill.
Yeah, it's gonna be almost solo queue-esque, I feel now. But I've seen in the past that when teams look to make games solo queue-esque, the other team just kind of falls into it, and we even see it on like the LEC stage occasionally, where just you play too aggressive, the other team just kind of wants to join in, and it's just not being able to play around tempo or vision or objective play when it's just that fast. And I'm assuming that Wavelad's going to look to try and continue that pressure. But it's been intriguing to see that 2 games now there's not been a tower gone down before that 14-minute mark, which I think in 5 you should really try and look to force. But I'm just hoping that the aggression doesn't falter.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that not happening with this team. Last game, we definitely seen with the early Caitlyn. But Draven struggles to hit tower without being in danger. He just pushed up all the time. Zara's excellent at clearing waves. You also got Veigar, who's great at clearing waves. So there is a good excuse, I guess, in this game for not having Kara's pressure. But you do want to see that collapse around an object in a 5s game where they just put the gold lead on somebody.
A lot of damage going on to Wavelad. He will try the ultimate, and he will get taken down. Wavelad had ult available and didn't opt to use it, and now the double buff Nacho Libre against AJ Tracy doesn't have flash, and AJ Tracy does have ult. Is bound to just fall down instantly. A lot of damage from Nacho Libre. Then one more Q might do it, and there's a disengage. AJ Tracy didn't press R there, might not have had the mana. Nacho Libre actually escapes in the end. But again, Wavelad, huge shutdown onto the Veigar, didn't press R.
That's really big onto the Veigar. I don't think Wavelad's expected quite that much damage. Veigar manages to pick up a free kill for an extra 300 gold, then uses his, he does break his stopwatch to deny AJ any damage whilst he's waiting for his cooldowns back up, and just walks over to his teeth. So that's going to be a breath of fresh air for Natesho and for for Claytron's as a whole. But ultimately, it doesn't really change.
You say it doesn't change anything, but I want to dispute the point, because the 2 biggest factors so far has been this Echo and this Pike. And are they going to be able to do much against the Veigar if he gets fed?
Well, no, but that was always the case, right? Like, there's never a world where Veigar doesn't look at a Pike, presses R, and eventually kills him in this game. I don't think 1 kill's going to accelerate it too much more than I think he'd probably just one-shot the Pike if it happened to be him there instead. So we might just now find out. But it's whether or not they respect it. You know, it's whether or not they play around it.
Going to take a lot of damage. The root will come down from Zyra. The ultimate, though, from Kali will just take him down. And say hello to Draven, everybody. That's what this champion does. The Rift Hold will get popped down in the bot lane as Pike roams down 2. Maybe force 2 towers here if they want to pressure for it. Maybe just the one in the end.
Pike's decided to try and take a 2v1. So they're going to get that tower for safety. I mean, I like it. It's the right target, 100%. You don't bother with giving that to the Mordekaiser. You give that to the Draven. And that's going to be accelerated gold into the Draven, who's now seeing 2k, 3.5, 2.3k ahead of his lane counterpart. 4 kills, 1 assist, and
oh, bye Llama! Bye Llama! As the baby cage comes down, he got sent down. And this Veigar could get scary.
Veigar is ulting on a 50-second cooldown. Now it's 65 total. Alright, so every minute we're going to expect one member of VGB to die. It's if they can pay that tax and still win the game.
And a Puffer here getting taken down by AJ Tracy by CC form. Not able to take down the kill just yet. One more attack should do it. The flash forward will secure it. Darkchance is able to escape too. And Kali, he just wanted the red buff. That's all he wanted. And is able to pick it up in the end.
He threw 2 auto attacks in that fight. Don't knock him. Didn't look like they were quite on the same page. AJ Tracy going for blood.
A lot of damage though from Waverlight going down onto the Veigar. The ultimate isn't available in this key fight. The tower would get it though. The ultimate's available. Picks up the kill. And that's going to be the return shut down for Waverlight this time.
Yeah, and that's cool when he wants to get it back in his pocket. Mad champion that can dive 2 towers and just walk away, but he does. And that is the power of Echo once again. Definitely be seeing this champion, I think. I think the game's probably going to slow down for a few moments, so let's take stock of the gold leads. Echo is on 3,000 ahead. Kali is on 3,000 ahead. And everyone else is even with their counterpart. So the entirety of the gold leads that Vigorous have is on really their 2 main damage dealers, and that is not what you want to be calculating this playcraft.
Certainly the case as AJ Tracy pulls the True K1 past his own pillar, meaning at the end he has to burn flash to get out of there. Interesting reaction as he tests his blue. So my question to you is now, what do you want Claytron's Academy to do to slow this game down? I think it's undisputable that they're going to win the late game if they get there, but how do they actually do it against such fed members? I'm go back and don't pick Trundle, but we're stuck with it now, so let's have a think. The ult's available. Bye, Kali. There's the shutdown for Veigar once again.
Once again, I think this game is on Nate's hands, right? That just decimation shows you. If Lulu isn't by her team, anyone else is going to go down to this Veigar, as he's already somehow managed to get 350
and we'll get the execute, but Shadow Pop is here to pick up the double kill. 2 for 1 for Claytron's Academy. You're not allowed to talk this game apparently as well. Fights go on now in the top lane.
Last game we had 5 kills in 15, now we have 24. It's 22, it's pretty good.
Looks like it's going to go to the death though. Tom Cena activating the World Ender. A lot of lifesteal does come down from that ability, but just Lama activates the flash to get out. But Clayton's Academy will just pick up the turret for those 2 kills, I feel.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Claytron's want. Like, pressure on their top lane, which hasn't seen any real attention in this game. There was that 1 gank, I think, 2 total, coming from Waverlight and Shurike, but yeah, what we want to see really is a group up from Claytron so that they can't be picked. Veigar sits with sweepers, and probably give it sweeps to Trund as well, and just clear out vision and just stand in it and wait for somebody who's trying to kill you to just walk blindly into you. That's their main window back, as Veigar's going to be heading towards his death cap. You got the Zyra for that real high burst lockdown that no one seems to be building MR to deal with. Those are your win conditions by a landslide, and it's if they can enable that whilst sort of being gifted this unusual pick of the Mordekaiser, who really isn't going to do very much in this game in terms of his split pushing, which is his main power. That's sort of a trade-off for having this Trundle, which I really don't think he's going to do. Trundle
to go in though will not get rooted. Thought he was there. They're trying to find stuff, aren't they? They're trying to find stuff. And in the end it won't. But yeah, you do make a very good point. One question I do have is about this Pyke in the mid lane. Do you rate the pick as AJ Tracy, as we say that, looks to get a pick onto Darkchance and executes him, so I think he proves that, right?
I'll let Tracy speak for me.
Does have the Lulu ultimate and the stopwatch, or Zonya's to be able to keep him alive. That is the stopwatch. There's a free kill for them there. AJ Tracy on the Pyke is doing a lot, and now gets a hook onto Nacho Libre. Does not, well, I think he did have the ultimate.
It's a point blank ultimate to the face.
Tom Cena just showing that he is on top in this 1v1. Last game didn't go in his way, this game it does. A lot of kills going down to both teams in this game, and like in solo queue, when it gets to this point, you've only really got 2 factors at play in a hand really. It's, am I that much better than the other team that I'm going to carry this one? And then the other one is, will my team just win because we scale better? And I suppose that's going to be the answer to both teams here is, Clayton's Academy scale better.
Well, yes, they do. And it's always going to be about execution. When you have a Pyke, an Echo, and a Draven, You're not saying let's sit back and farm. You need to take the fight to your enemy. The last passage of play, very big for Claytrons. Let's keep it like, yes, Pyke did manage to burst down a kill. Pyke is going to do that. Veigar managed to get a shutdown onto himself from the Pyke. So whilst I think the mid lane Pyke pick is very good, I think knowing that the enemy had a Veigar, you didn't need to then flex it mid, and you could have picked something more reliable and not bothered with this Lulu, who... And this is no offense, it's very hard to have the reactions because it's a Veigar. Lulu hasn't really saved anyone.
As I say, that's something that they're looking to go in. Not landed any knockup so far, just gets executed by Valanth though. Shadow Hopper doing a lot of damage on the backside as he is sent into the Shadow Realm from Just Llama. AJ Tracer getting a lot of resets. He's stuck there, Shadow Hopper, and flashes away from Just Llama. He's trying to escape, but there's 2 members down there, and there's the execution, but this one is stumbling onto the Pyke. They do pick up the second Elder, or that might have been the Mountain, but 2 Elders and a Mountain is exactly what VGB need.
Yeah, they'll take that 3 gold damage from those advantages. Yeah, we saw it. That was a good fight, and Veigar wasn't in it, so it was a clean up. But then just on the tail end, despite missing everything, he hits and just gets 2 kills. So they'll definitely be happy with the dragon. As you say, this game isn't over, and you expect a straight 5v5 team fight to definitely favour Claytrons, especially if it's going to last that sort of long time past the initial burst of damage. The Veigar's going to get multiple rotations in. But we saw Just Llama take Shadow Hopper to the Shadow Realm, appropriate enough. And that ulti and all those feathers coming through just didn't have any impact. So there is a question to be asked: is if Claytrons can do enough damage to enough members, with Zyra being sort of taken out of the fight by this Mordekaiser. But a good passage of play from Vigorous, who saw the advantage. I just think that isn't terrible. That isn't a terrible sign.
The question for me is then when it gets to turrets, as we are in a pause. So I'll continue asking this question. Hopefully, it doesn't take too much longer. We've seen a lot of fights go on the side of Vigorous Beta kind of recently. We did see Claytrons Academy get a little bit back in the game, but Vigorous Beta more now. They've picked up the Drakes and have been in control of those neutral objectives, as they did get the Rift Herald too. But they've really struggled at taking down turrets. They took down bot lane only because of the Rift Herald, and I think mid lane was just when Veigar was by himself. And now we've seen the Xayah move across the map. Despite them getting 17 kills and building a 5.4k gold lead, they're not really threatened another turret. Is it going to get to a point of the game where they're just going to be easy to do that because of death timers? Or is it going to get to a point of the game where they're not going to be able to do that even win the fights anymore? Because guess what? Shadow Hopper and Natecho Libre just one-shotting your whole team.
So there's definitely a point to be made that their 2 champions have more than 250 range or whatever. And that's a Draven who isn't very long ranged and doesn't really do too well into towers, and a Lulu who's going to do nothing. So you have one champion who can step forward to hit those towers, and if he steps forward, he is the primary target for a Veigar, for a Zyra, for a Xayah. That is the champion they want to find. So it is going to be hard for them to siege down towers. The question is if they can set up around objectives, which again, they can threaten quite well because of the Mordekaiser, because of the Draven. If they can set up around those objectives to then make a pick, and if they can control that vision. So far, we've seen a couple of sweepers on their side, nothing, or just the one for Zyra for Claytron. So they are going to have that sort of vision control and area denial that's going to enable that. But it's whether they can, bait a trap essentially that Claytron's going to walk into blindly. You think with the Zyra plants, with the sort of hidden ability that she has from those to grant us some vision, they aren't going to be caught napping as long as they know what they're doing. So it is going to be hard for Vigorous, I think, to close this game out, but it will not be hard for them to snowball off of 1 kill and just take the rest of the game. Once those first couple of people go down, they're just going to keep running to the fight.
So that kind of brings 2 points you've made this game together where, you said that Claytron's Academy's way to not lose this game when it did look like they were going to almost imminently was the fact that Veigar could just play around vision, catch someone out and one-shot them, and now playing in the jungle and playing around vision is exactly what Vigorous Beta want to do to close out the game, which kind of seems like 2 teams very much coming at each other. And yes, objectives is its own unique point where Vigorous Beta may just have the advantage, but if both teams need the jungle, it could be very explosive, as it has been so far.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a single fight in the jungle that hasn't then immediately resulted in another kill. There's never just been the one, has there? It's always been, and then Veigar showed up and pressed R, and then Callie threw his ult through. Something like that has always happened, and I expect that to be the theme of the game, as these two teams don't seem to back down from fights. We do now see there's uncensored down on Lulu, but there's only really one candidate, and it's the Draven. So, and he's not going to get the most value out of it. He doesn't tend to do multiple auto attacks, so I'm not sure even if that sort of synergy is really something they can rely on to break these towers fast enough. So, like I said, it's probably going to be sorted out in these little nooks and crannies in the jungle where two teams punch each other in the face. And that, I guess we can circle back to, makes the Trundle pick so smart. And we've been praising it all game as being a great pick, because it's really good at these jungle chokeholds. I'm trying to find a reason. He's only got Cinderhawk. He hasn't even finished his second item yet. It's a tough game for a Trundle.
He's also going into a Trinity Force, which is going to be my next point. Let's have a look at some of these items and which ones we massively disagree with. So the Ardent Sensor was one of them. We've got Leandri's Torment from Zyra against 0 tanks. So maybe we'd like to see, I don't know, a Rylai's instead. I'm not sure. With
Twin Shadows even.
Twin Shadows even. We've got the Rapid Fire Cannon as the second item for Xayah. Maybe
I
instead
like that.
of Infinity Edge.
That's a fine item. That's okay. That gives her the range she needs. But yeah, let's talk about these components to a Triforce show.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange one. I'd almost like to see a Righteous Glory or something from the Trundle, just to enable some kind of engage so they can force a fight on a squishy target. But it's going to be a because I think we're going to see very similar things to what happened last game, where Claytron's Academy get back into this game by almost the other team walking on top of them, Vigorous Beta taking a fight that they just couldn't, and it being turned around. But the same issues that I've got with the composition of Vigorous Beta could potentially be the same for Claytron's Academy. How do they siege?
Well, they siege with a Rapid Fire Cannon. They siege with endless wave clear and the Trundle Pillars to deny one of the entrants from a tower. I mean, I do think they have a good way into a fight. It's whether or not they can withstand the damage. And I'm going to go back to this Triforce because I still can't believe it. Get some armor on the team and nullify nearly all of the damage sources. This Trundle's never going to fight this morning. So why would he? He's never going to get ulted. And he's never going to be dealing with that as a sideline threat. So, like, just pick some armor, get some tank stats, which are going to come through soon. You've seen the Black Clover for the Aatrox. Presumably he's going to have something like the Death Stance, maybe with that Vamp Scepter.
Yeah.
So that's sort of pseudo tankiness, especially into the Sienna burst comps. We are finally back into the game. To remind you, about 26 minutes in, a 5k gold lead for VGR, playing a heavy damage, no sustained damage kind of comp. And only the sort of outer towers having gone down. 3 dragons to Vigorous Gaming as a result of these early kills that they've managed to find thanks to the Echo. But we're wondering whether or not they're ever going to be able to siege the tower and how these fights are going to shape up, presumably in the jungle.
Say that vision contest does happen, and there's Lulu, and bye-bye Lulu. Ultimate
not
was
even.
used. Interestingly, the ult wasn't needed, and it's now on cooldown, so maybe overexertion of that ultimate compared to last game where he wasn't using it enough, and now we can see that VGB are hiding in the jungle.
Don't do a Dark Chance.
Dark Chance and Atasha, we're hovering, and it now seems that 4v5 they're just going to try and control vision, and it very much seems to be, if you walk at me in the jungle, you die, but if I walk at you in the jungle, I die, and it's
yeah.
might even make this Aatrox a huge threat this game just by controlling the side lane.
Absolutely, and then I mean, what you want to see from that is yes, they burn the ultimate for no reason, but they got a kill, and then they just never need to go in the jungle. That's where Vigorous are gonna find those team fights. Right? Just don't go there. Just go and push towers like they did. Go and get that bot lane pickup, which they managed to do, and just play the the open areas of the map as soon as you have even a vague numeric advantage, because it's going to be these chokeholds that decide the game. As you say that, Tomcino is going in on Just Llama.
See if he's able to get it. He will use those ethereal chains to pull Just Llama back. Doesn't count the Q, but the lifesteal he gets from that Vamp Scepter and his passive is so much. We'll see if he's able to get it as the Ward Lane Ender is popped. So much healing there. The pull back from Just Llama, the flash away. Tomcino takes a lot of damage from minions, but there's the pick onto Natasha Lee, but the flash over the wall will keep him safe. But now Shadowhopper and try and do some damage. Waverland taking so much damage. The Beard onto Natasha Lee, though. The ultimate from Shadowhopper will take down 2 members, at least stun 2 members. Now Waverland looking to go back in. 1-man stun onto the Trundle. He's not tanking enough. He'll get taken down, and that's 2 kills for Vigorous Beta. And none for Claytron's Academy, as Tomcino actually fell down in the bot lane as well.
Yeah, have to.
And there's a pull from AJ Tracy. Oh god, Shadow Hopper's gone down as well. That's 4 kills. That's going to be a Baron. AJ Tracy saying, hi, big Pike mid, look at me.
As we talked about, the fight happened in Monaro choke areas. Natasha Libre overstepped, Flash nearly survived, but was ultimately just bursted down as he just caught in range. That's going to be the Baron. Just Llama alive after a successful fight where Tom Cena ultimately a bit aggressive with his Qs and a bit close to tower. Just Llama managed to take him down. And that is now going to enable some semblance of a split push, and that might be the key to breaking towers that the others wouldn't have.
Well, they found the team fight they needed in the jungle, got the picks, got the objective, and now again that question is, how did Claytron's Academy continue to stall? Because Vigorous Beta have found how they do it now. They've been getting these picks, and then Veigar would come and burst everybody. Now the picks Veigar. Who's going to come and burst people when he was the guy that already died? And that's going to make it harder. I should say they've got the wave clear. This game isn't over just quite yet.
Absolutely, and intentionally Ray, limited stopwatch, I have no idea when, but it seemed like it was a while ago, but or maybe it's just recently, but he is picking up his components for his Zonyas. He knows that he needs to survive these fights. If the first team essentially that seems to realize that they don't ever want to face check, probably going to do fine in this game. So it's if Patrons, now knowing that they are super squishy, don't go into those team fights, just let Vigorous come to them, they're probably going to have an okay time. I think they have to give up this man break. I think fighting this would be a very, very bad idea. It looks like they are going to yield it. Shuriken possibly overextending a bit, but giving that one up, smart move. You don't want to take this fight. Just sit back at your towers. Natasha Libre can pop down that box on an absurdly low cooldown. The event horizon is on a 6.6 second cooldown. So he's going to pretty much have that always on the field. And that's going to allow him just to zone out areas so that Shadow Hopper can clear these waves. I don't expect they lose too much with Baron unless they overeat.
And then if they can't siege with Baron, how do they siege? It was finding the fight around Baron, as you say before, finding the picks around the objectives. There's the ultimate from Veigar. It's not actually taking down AJ Tracy because the W missed, and he's going to get out scot-free. And that's a less than a minute cooldown, but it's still long enough. That's going to make a difference, and now they can potentially look for a fight.
It is a big cooldown. It is slightly less than the Hex Drinker cooldown, which AJ Tracy has smartly itemized into, which kept him alive. So he's looking to sort of be the one that tanks those shots.
The
that is going to get
top. So because of that, they're just able to pick up the mid lane turret. Strange lane assignments there from Claytron's Academy.
I think they could have probably held on to that turret because Tom Cena was doing a fine job taking down tier 2 on the bot side anyway. So yeah, it feels like they could have probably held on to that. They still didn't have much damage, and Natasha was able to just with one W. And now Tom Cena is pushed very far up and is going to be engaged by Just Llama. Can he get away?
It's going to be the question. Or can he win the fight? And not a lot of healing coming down from him, actually. There's that Thorn Mail that Just Llama's picked up has just completely nullified what Tom Cena wanted to do. And also Bramble Vest. And with no healing, you're losing out on these trades, my friend, because all you've got is Merc Treads for any magic resist. And now looks like a half-decent minion wave up in the top lane with a cannon minion, and just bouncing these waves into turrets, and eventually they will go down.
But really smart itemization from Just Llama. You called it. The Bramble Vest comes through, nullified any of that healing, the Atrix just went down like paper. I expect them to just give up this tier 2 turret. They definitely should. The wave's about to collapse.
Okay, that wave lag goes in onto Shadow Hopper. The stun will go down, but a lot of root coming down from Dark Chance and Zaya. The ultimate will go onto Shuriken, but he's actually quite tanky now, and there's the damage onto Kali. The ultimate goes down to fight the QSS, and he is taken. This could be the return kill. Just Llama TP's in, gets a pullback onto 2, including that Toe Reaver. Sorry, Wavy Lad getting to stun on absolutely nobody, but takes down Trundle. A huge stun from Natasha Libre will keep them in that pocket, and now can Shadow Hopper do the damage? Try and find it. Wavy Lad flash forward, the hook from AJ Tracy will take him down. Now it's only Dark Chance left alive. But Tom Cena hasn't respawned actually now and trying to get the damage down. They're all so low, the stuns, and a lot of damage actually from Tom Cena, but as we spoke about before, the Bramble Vest means he doesn't heal. In the end, it is a 3 for 4. Sorry, a 4 for 4. And they're going to take down that one. So 3 members left alive for VGB, all 5 taken down from Claytron's Academy in a very strange fight. A lot of cooldown reliant AP champions doing a lot of damage, and in the end, Vigorous Beta were going to get the inhib.
Yeah, a long protracted fight. Natasha just removes Callie from the game. He doesn't get to play. He blew his QSS as well, and presumably then threw his lifeline passive. And he just went down. So there's a significant threat there, but it seems the VGI just had enough damage on enough sources. Echo doing so much work in that fight. Huge stun, able to stay in the fight long enough to then get his ultimate on the spot he was standing, and just really rip through the line. So a lot of damage from the Echo. It's looking like in the straight 5v5s, VGI definitely have the sustained damage to get through it. Now that that Bramble Vest has been picked up to completely nullify Tom Cena's Aatrox. We'll have to find again if they can, you know, potentially see the TP coming in from Doslama, who managed to arrive in the middle of the fight, pulled 2 members in. I think both of the carries land a Q on top of them. Kind of set the tone for the fight and became a rapture. Good work.
But it shows that both teams have the capability to out-execute each other. I mean, Shiruke and Tom are relatively tanky. I think Tom's, obviously, when he's not getting that healing off, when he's either getting an Ignite on him or that Bramble Vest is stopping the healing, is not as tanky, but they've got the tools to slow down the damage of Claytron's Academies. It looks like they are looking for something here. Sorry, I completely missed that. Wavelad going to get stunned and taken down by the Q of Natatio Libre. Did have ult available, wasn't able to activate it in time. And I'm on manual camera for some reason, that's why I didn't see that one, but we're back on directed now. And that's a great kill onto Wavelad as the Baron spawns.
So important, and the ultimate chiefly was not used. They can just sit in this bush and turn around if anyone comes anywhere near them. The point advantage is the Skull Crab's going to see where they're going, but it looks like they're just going to burst this Baron down. AJ Tracy's on his way to try and knock him out, but it looks like him coming to his death. He steps too far forward.
Both Natatio Libre in, but the key thing is yes, they're going to get a Baron Blaster, double Infernal, double Mountain, and Elder Drake going down. See Vigorous Bait on the return side. They do pick up the Baron. AJ Tracy looking for a kill, not going to be able to get it, and Lulu's bound to fall as a sacrifice, but AJ Tracy looking for the Natatio Libre, misses the Q, will be forced to flash away. Is the Elder down yet? Yes, it is, and that's going to be a double Infernal, double Mountain Elder Dragon at 35 minutes traded for the Baron.
Worth, yeah. I mean, it unlocks an additional condition for Vigorous.
No Hopper though. Burst down AJ Tracy. There's one Elder Dragon that's gone. I think there's only 2 left now.
Yeah, yeah, that's how that works. I forget if that buff kicks in after you spawn. What's not? But yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's worth. Yes, it means the next Elder Dragon is devastating, but they were gonna get one of those objectives if you didn't pick one and just commit to it. And if you'd given them the Baron, that would have given them their only tool to break into your base. So I think that definitely was the right choice. Take out Wavelad, immediately go to the objective. And I'm glad that they at least committed to it and didn't try and stop Vigorous Bait from doing an objective and instead chose to do their own. If they tried to stop it, that fight could have got messy. There's already an inhibitor exposed, and that could just suddenly be the end of the series. So I like that from Claytron's good confidence, and this Baron should at least stem the tide a little bit. As we see, Vega has now hit 4 items. He's sitting on just a casual 1083 AP, with his R doing about 2k damage. A bit more than that, 2.4k damage.
Which is basically everybody on the side of Vigorous Beta, maybe aside from that Mordekaiser. But we'll see now if a fight happens. This Elder Dragon Draven will do absolutely tons of damage, as well as this Mordekaiser too. But as we saw before, as you just said, one ult says bye-bye Callie.
Yeah, and he used his more Multi's passive went down. It is coming back up, but he was able to be killed through the passive of his magic shield, so it's almost not doing anything now. So it's looking a bit rough, and as you see, there's just no way that VGR can really break this sort of Baron buff siege. By the time we finally get to the minions, the next wave will just have crashed, and the next wave will start to arrive. So, you know, this is good from Claytrons as long as they just stand where they are, hold firm, and just put down the pillar, put down the cage, and walk a Vigorous off into the wave.
See now what happens. There is a stunned Mordekaiser. Will he go down? Yes, he will take it down, and Natatio Libre still has up. But that's a 3-man stun from Wavelad. They're going to get so many people down. Shadow Hopper goes down. Natatio Libre's in the stopwatch. Thompson is trying to get something on the other side. Callie's gone low. He's taken down. This is huge. Wavelad flashes forward and gets a kill onto the Vega. He's used his stopwatch. He doesn't have ult available. He's about to fall down. Thompson eventually on the backside. Wavelad doesn't fall down, but gets pulled back. There's no damage left. Wavelad survives, and now AJ Tracy going to the backside. Stun from Dark Chance, but jumps in and is going to try and take down Dark Chance. Is Wavelad not going to be able to get it? In the end, so much happens in that fight, and it looks like Vigorous Bait got the advantage as Wavelad goes in to take the kill.
And that, as you call it, Waverlad coming up massive with a 3-man stun, and then the return engage with a huge shield, walks away from the fight having done a lot of work. That's the inhibitor broken. I expect they need to back away and reset as mana's looking pretty low on this Echo. But they will be happy with taking out an inhibitor just as the Elder Drake buff falls off of them. They can reset now, and they have 2 minutes on the Baron buff respawn, 2 minutes on the Elder Drake, 2.5 on both. They get to pick which objective they take next, and both of them are going to be very valuable. So, much tougher spot, as Claytrons did not find the fight they wanted.
I mean, you could almost argue that the Elder Dragon was the key difference maker there, but it just wasn't, because Just Llama was the one that got stunned and deleted, and Kali ended up falling pretty quickly too, and they were the only members with it. And I said earlier on in the game, and not to toot my own horn, but it seems very much of execution versus time, and I think execution just beats time here. As I should say, Waverlad, what a performance from him in these team fights. Able to take down all the key targets. A huge stun was nullified everything that Shadowhopper would want to do, and
absolutely, full props to him. But he's definitely sort of brought this game forward. Yes, he's been super far ahead this whole game, but he's also really kept Shiruke down. We've not really seen much from the Trundle. Waverlad has played incredibly, and yeah, a couple of executions on these team fights has been really sealed the ticket. Like, just a tremendous carry performances. They're now sitting 9k gold in the lead, 2 Infernals, 2 Mountain Dregs as we approach the the part of the game where you want to be killing the enemy and killing the Baron. Those are the Drakes you want. It's looking all good for Vigorous Game.
Certainly is. We'll see if they're. We'll see what their objectives are. I think it's fairly certain that they just want to wait now for these objectives to spawn. Mid lane is probably the best for Claytrons to have the inhibitor down, because you're just going to be there anyway to clear the waves. But it's like they've opted into a 4-0-1 comp, really splitting up the team. The Claytrons Academy. Do you like this, or would you prefer them to group?
No, 4-0-1 100%. Like, if you're not using your Mordekaiser for split pushing, at least try and get 2 people to come and join you. You know, you might get lucky. But secondly, you just don't want the Aatrox to fight. You don't want the Aatrox. The only person who can really walk forward is to fight, because that's the only person who can incredibly threaten Draven without, it being potentially resulting.
TomCena trying to take the trade again, not respecting the Bramble Vest, is just absolutely getting slapped about here, but a fight is happening on the bot side. Just Llama does get the kill, has TP, this could turn. Lulu did use the ultimate, but that seems to be the only ult that was used. A 2-man stun, so much nice for the Sage Libro! Sheriff already is taken down, the ult was on the wrong target. That's the Lulu down, who had already used ultimate. That is a 4 versus 4 on the map. Mordekaiser is continuing to push, as well as those inhibitor minions, super minions, are running down mid as well. This is tough for Claytrons Academy, but they managed to get one.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate Tom goes down there, because they have to then back away. They had a team fight where, at the very start of the fight, Draven burns his QSS and Lulu's ulti to keep him alive, and then they still get a kill. That was the dream time to go and heavily engage. But Just Llama managing to find the fight in that 1v1 through the smart itemization and good Mordekaiser damage has meant he can just walk through, apply pressure. They've had to deal with the minion waves, and now before Claytrons can even leave their base, Elder Dragon is at 1/2 health.
Yeah, and if they get this Elder Dragon and just walk to Baron, the game's over, and that's very much what's going to happen now. They can't take a fight. They're going to burst down this Baron buff with a 40-minute double mountain Elder. Like, wow.
Yeah, that's how much extra damage is that? It's an obscene amount of extra damage, isn't it?
That's 2 + 2 = 4, and that's about as far as I can go.
46 extra damage, so 46% extra damage. It's significant, when you have two really solid Baron damage. You're just gonna have an extra member doing Baron.
I really hope they just look to start it. They've still got Just Llama's TP. They know that TomCena can't match it. And if Veigar gets in a spot to get a key pick, it could all change. Now, there has been fights that have gone well for Claytrons Academy, and we're not among the realms of possibility of it not happening again, despite the 5-man Elder Baron buff. It's going to be so hard. But Vigorous Fate are playing it slow.
They are, and you can see why. Draven wanted to go back and finish off his Mortal Reminder. He now has all of his items, and his QSS back up, and his flash up.
AJ Tracy though, looking for the hook. Doesn't come. You just know if that hook from AJ Tracer lands on Veigar, it's over.
Oh, that's dead. Well, no, in fairness to Veigar, he has found himself designing Zalgos. Like, he is aware that he needs to survive these fights.
And now
But it
the
just
luck is
doesn't look
turned
as
onto the Mordekaiser, who does activate his ultimate, sending Zyra to the Shadow Realm. She's so squishy, she's not going to survive this at all. And then Chiruke is going to try and 1v1 him, and he's not going to be able to
they're
do
doing
that
the Baron.
either. They are taking the Baron. It's
This is
bound to
game.
go down for free. They've already got it, and now Just Llama is absolutely huge with Elder Baron, Elder Buff,
game.
and Baron. It's bound to be a game. They do take down Lulu. Nacho Libre potentially going to try and do something. Zaya's trying to stop him, but Nacho Libre has gone down. So is now Tom Cena. Now it's just Shadow Hop, and I don't think you can 1 versus 5 against Baron and Elder, but he's certainly trying to. Lands the stun. Just Lava though, 1 Q and an auto attack, the flash over, the ultimate, the E. Goodbye, Zaya. That is a 2-0 win for Vigorous Spacer. They picked Mordekaiser top, Echo jungle, Pyke mid, Draven AD carry, and Lulu support, and they absolutely made it work more than any meta team comp they tried, especially in game 1. Fantastic performance from them. Fantastic performance from Waverlad as they get this 2-0 win over Claytron's Academy. Fair play to Claytron's Academy, they played well. But for the life of me, the way that Waverlad performed, and even Dan performed on the Pyke, which I didn't expect him to do, was incredibly impressive in this game.
Yeah, I think Just Llama did exactly what he had to do. That one time that 2 people came to him, he finally managed to do the Mordekaiser dream. Alt 1, kill both. And put the nail in the coffin for the game. But that was 100% Waverlad's game. From start to finish, he decided to win them that game, I think, with a great Echo performance. I think it was like 3-0 and 2 or something very early on in the game. Like a really good performance. And a good closeout from Vigorous Beta on what was kind of an iffy looking game where they were struggling to find ground and just trading kills when ahead, but finally decided to close it out correctly. And I think that's testimony to a good team who are now second in the table and going to be looking to try and contest that top spot coming into the last few weeks of the.
That is the case. We are now seeing, just so you guys know, Deja Vu topping. Vigorous Beta 1 point behind in second, and then World Saves Ours Academy 1 point behind them in third. It's looking quite unlikely that Hentai Haven or Windhall are going to catch those 3 up at the top of the table, but we'll certainly see how the rest of this split goes with only 2 weeks left. But before we go, Mythic Warpig, my friend, I want to ask you the ultimate question that we ask at the end of every cast. Is game 1, we saw the Malphite with the Jarvan and the rest of the team, Caitlyn in the bot lane, Kassadin in the mid lane. They popped off. They got the game. It was a bit slow, a bit iffy, but they were able to take game 1. In this game, we know what happened. Which brings us to the question of, who's your MVP for the series?
I honestly don't think you pick an MVP from game 1. I think everyone did their roles fine, if not well. From Vigorous Beta, like I think no one really stood out as so much above the others. Looking into game 2, you have to praise the Jungle of Echo. It was just a very good performance from Wavy. Just very consistent plays. AJ Tracy on his Pyke doing good work. But I think you give the props to Wavy for just putting that team so far ahead that really a victory should have come much earlier, I think, and he played that very well. So we give it to him. Props to the rest of the team for playing well, and some really good performances, I think, on the side of Claytron's Academy. Still breaking their team in, essentially, finding their synergies. Got a little ways to go, but some good performances already.
Indeed, that is the case. Commiserations to Claytron's Academy. Good performance, but we can confirm Wavelad MVP, as you said. That is it, boys. That's been week 8 of the Silver Gold League for Valanth League. And it's tight at the top, but we'll see how it goes. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. As I say, it was me, Sugar, joined alongside Mythic Warpig, my co-caster for today. And be sure to tune in next week and on Thursday this week to catch Gold Plat, as Gold Plat's going to be hella intense, as Ike face PMA and OP Nerds face Ward Saves Lives in the same week. The battle for first in that league is hella close too, so be sure to stay tuned to the Valanth League Twitch channel, and we'll see you later.